You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al...
Live from the fantasyfootballshow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Smitty. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show, and I'm your one-stop shop for NFL news, breaking news show, breaking news. We go live whenever there's breaking news. That means that at noon, at 11 a.m., at 7 a.m., at midnight, if anything breaks NFL related and it's big stuff, I walk in and fire up the studio. Ziggy, studio off. The studio's off. I come in, Ziggy doesn't listen. I tell him about 10 times to fire the studio up. I yell and scream at him. We fight a little bit. And then finally, Ziggy, studio on. Ziggy turns on. We go live and we break the news. That's how we roll. Speaking of news.
From the fantasyfootballshow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
This man, Breece Hall, this beautiful man, Breece Hall, right in front of your face, is inking his deal as we speak. His rookie contract is not yet inked, but he's signing it today. It's like as good as done according to some of the reports. You can see even reports that'll say like contract is, he signs contract ahead of training camp. This is on NFL.com. And then you read the report and it's like he's signing it right now. So we'll get a more official report at some point today. I probably won't go live again to announce that it's officially done. But as of right now, it sounds like it is being inked as we speak. He's got pen in hand most likely. That man is signing away, going breakout candidate 2022. I'm going to win leagues. Boom. Hall to the moon. Breece Hall to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. I love this guy. He's going to win leagues for people. He's going to single-handedly win leagues for people. Why? Because he's going in round 4. Even if you have to take him in round 3, he can win a league. Now think about it like this. You're hitting a home run with Breece Hall anywhere in round 3. Kind of like Javonte. Javonte, you could get at 2.1, and I'm extremely happy. Javonte to the moon. Breece Hall to the moon. I better stop because I'm going to keep naming all my favorite players. But Breece Hall, this guy Breece.
Get Breece. Get Breece.
Anywhere in round 3, he will hit a home run. Anywhere in round...
You've just been Smitty approved.
From the fantasy.
Anywhere in round 3. But think about it like this. You're hitting a home run at 3.2. But you're just going over the wall. If you get him at 4.4, you're knocking that sucker. God, this mic is all the way amped up. I apologize. You hit a home run over the entire ballpark into the water. You know, where the boats are driving around and they're trying to fish the ball out of the water. If you drop Breece Hall anywhere in that range, it's a monster home run. Drop some Breece emojis. I gotta stop streaming to multiple platforms because this is not working anymore. My comments are not loading. This is driving me up the wall. I've got to look to now the iPad again to read it. We got a super chat from Blair. Blair says, Dynasty PPR startup. Everyone has 2 keepers from last year. I'm picking 9th. What is the best move? Swift and Javonte are gone. I have Jefferson and Herbie. So you're in PPR. Everyone has 2 keepers from last year. You're picking 9. The best move. You've got Jefferson and Herbie. I love your 2 keepers, by the way, Blake. Blair. I also appreciate your super chat. I probably would say, you know, like if Breece is there, you're going Breece, right? If you're going, like, I'd have to know, can you give me a list of players based on the keepers who you might see available, and then I can kind of rank them for you? Might be a little easier for me, because it's best player available. I can't give you a plan of attack. I literally need to know who's probably or likely going to be there so I can give you better advice. So drop who's probably and likely going to be there, and I'll handle that for you. I can't stand that I don't have my comments on my screen right now. Driving me nuts. Let's see here. What else we got? We got Fournette news, but let's quickly touch on Breece Hall. I also cooked up a little number right here. Look at this. Look at this.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Yeah, buddies.
Space Monsters.
Space Monsters. You heard them. The Moon Men. The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space. These are the gentlemen that are currently in orbit above our good Earth. These men right here.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
Space Monsters is correct. The Moon Men. I feel like I can't wait for you to read my voicemail submission, says Ryan Kilpatrick. Okay, Ryan. How do you guys like the Moon Men? I'm adding to it. Don't worry. I'm kind of doing this slowly. I don't want to put everybody on here right away. We've got to put these space men, load dropping space monsters in here a little by little. Okay. So we're gonna add some people. You guys can always tell me, hey Smitty, let's put them on. And you know, there's a couple guys that are gonna get added to this. I'm just waiting. I'm taking my sweet time to drop a few people. Mark Cleveland says, Smitty to the moon. Mark, thank you. You to the moon, Mark. You're to the moon. So is Kevin Williams with the super chat. Thank you guys for the supers. Appreciate
Thanks
you
for the super chat. Giddy up.
I think this is the bottom line for me for Breece Hall. Take him in the 3rd if you've got to. How do you know? Your pre-rank list, Bob. How do you, Smitty? Do I take him at 3.1 or do I take him at 4.5? It depends on where he's coming in at the pre-rank, okay? If the pre-rank says he's the third running back available and you're on the clock at 3.2, guess what? You're not going to make it all the way down 3, all the way back down 4, and have Breece Hall sitting there. If he's the 7th ranked guy, and this depends on your platform. If you're drafting on ESPN, ESPN's got him ranked in like the hundreds. No, not really, but it feels like that, right? You go on Sleeper, we've driven his value up on Sleeper. That's our fault. That's us. Take a lap, us, because we literally drove this man all the way up to like 3.1. And you're all doing it with Kenneth Walker right now. You're all not listening to me about Kenneth Walker. Stop drafting Kenneth Walker in the 5th and 6th round. At the end of 6 or top of 7 is when you're almost taking a lap, but like I understand if you're getting like Snipe City, you know, and you're like, okay, 6.11, I could take him at 7.2, but I'm just going to take him now because I really like 3 or 4 guys that I could take. Like, I get all that, you know, you can argue that. Stop taking Kenneth Walker around 5. You're ruining his ADP, and you're ruining your chances in redraft of getting him at a discount. Breece Hall, you got to do the same thing. Don't go reaching when he's 15 overall players down and your next pick is going to be 8 picks away and you're picking right now. Pick right now and get Breece Hall if he's 15 overall picks down. He's going to fall. People use that pre-rank list so much. They rely on it. They rely on it. People don't think for themselves. Half the time, they literally look at the pre-rank list, especially every round they get deeper. You get into round 3 and 4, people are lost, you know? Bill from HR, Billy, Worried Williams from Repo. Worried William doesn't know what to do when he gets to round 3 and 4. He literally leans on the pre-rank list and goes, God, I can't take someone that's 8 players down on the pre-rank. They'll make fun of me. I don't know what's going on. I've been literally not looking at anything for months. And my magazine subscription to the Fantasy Football magazine company that I ordered from, it's not here yet. It's a late delivery. How am I going to know who to pick without my magazine? I'm going to go off the pre-rank list. The pre-rank list is your friend. It's a blueprint as to what everyone's likely going to do. Nobody detours that much from the pre-rank list, and yet, unless you're in my community and we go down and we see Breece Hall, we're like, punch it. So definitely take advantage as much as you can. Blair says that's fair. CD, AJ Brown, Breece Hall, Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews are the best available since I don't have I don't like Chubb much. Top 6 running backs and wide receivers already taken. So you got AJ Brown, CD Lamb, Breece Hall, Kyle Pitts. I mean, it's pretty easy to say, hey, you're going to take CD Lamb if he's there, right? You're going to take probably, in my opinion, honestly, if there's keeper values involved, Breece Hall does jump to the next spot for me, or Kyle Pitts. Even over Andrews, you're talking about keeper value. I like Kyle Pitts over Andrews for the long term. I'm taking Kyle Pitts over Andrews in a keeper dynasty format. Granted, you can only keep 2 players. You already have 2 really good players, so you don't have to necessarily draft for the future. You could say, I'm going to take Andrews for the now. He should outscore Kyle Pitts in 2022. So you could take that approach if you wanted to win now. You felt like you're going to win now. I would rank them CeeDee Lamb, Breece Hall, AJ Brown, Kyle Pitts, if you want keeper value, or Andrews, then Kyle Pitts in that order. But I mean, Breece Hall is a good addition for you. But since you already, let's see, who did you already have? You already had Jefferson. You need a running back. Not that I force, a position, but I would definitely go with Breece Hall if he's there, because all things are kind of close and equal anyway. I might even go Breece Hall over Lamb if I'm you, with the keeper value aspect. The fact that you got Jefferson or Herbie. Lamb, I would try and go Lamb. If you got that 9 pick, that means you're not too far away with that second round pick, assuming you didn't lose it in some kind of keeper, some kind of keeper value or something like that, or trade it. You might be able to get Lamb and Breece Hall. I would go Lamb then Breece Hall. I would try and make that work. There are some super chats, dude. I know Overcome. I'm trying my best. Like I said, my system's down in terms of the comments, so I'm trying to pull them over. I already acknowledged Mark Cleveland's to the moon. I already got Blair's. I already got Kevin's. He said get breeced. Kevin?
Get breeced.
I think I already got all these, bro. Blair, I got Blair's. Overcome, I've got them all. I've already attacked them, buddy boy. Swaggy says 9th pick. I'm going either Mixon, JJ, Chase at that pick. You got to go JJ, Chase before you go Mixon. You can't take Mixon over JJ or Chase, in my opinion. Not even close. Not even close, bro. And to me, I'm taking Swift or Javonte over Mixon, but that's me. I understand the Mixon thing, and I'm not saying I dislike Mixon this year. I know I was a little hard on him last year. He proved me wrong to a significant degree. Let's be honest, but I'm not ranking him over Swift or Javonte. I'm just not. It doesn't mean I hate him. It just means I love Javonte and Swift that much more. Blair's dropping a couple super chats. We need to acknowledge greatness when it happens. I thank you, Blair. Thank God I was thinking Lamb, but if he's gone before I can get him, debating on Breece in round 1. Didn't want to take a lap for it. Look, this is your 3rd round pick. You're in a keeper. If I would take Breece Hall anywhere in round 3 in a redraft, you're taking him essentially in round 3. There's 2 keepers. Everybody's got 2 keepers. This is your 3rd round pick essentially. Your round 1 is 3rd round. Breece Hall's in a keeper format of any kind is a home run in the 1st round. But I would go Lamb and try and see if you can steal Breece Hall away. Now, Breece Hall's contract signing today is going to put him in the news, going to make people talk about him. This isn't good. You know, I mean, I don't like the fact that he's going to be talked about a ton. And let's go ahead and drop, I'm going to drop this in the chat right now. Let's go ahead and drop this in the chat. Let's vote on this. We're going to start introducing some votes to the situation here. Okay, let's drop this. This is a vote right now. Vote on Breece Hall. Okay, I'm going to pin the link. And we're going to go to the poll. This is a live poll. Breece Hall finishes as running back what? And we're going to leave this up while we talk about Breece Hall for a little bit longer and see where you guys rank this man. So this will be a live poll. And let's see where you, the people, view this man. 8 to 12. 1 vote for, okay, 2 votes for 8. This is great. This is going to be a great addition to the show. We might even do something here where you super chat a certain, like, if, you know, anybody super chats 5. Not now. Now we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to have fun with it. But, like, during the season, can you imagine any $5 super chatters? Let's ask the massive audience what they think and just see a bunch of voting going. I mean, what better way to get advice than from a bunch of people? To get it from me, because you're asking me, but then we're going to go ahead and take a poll. So far, look at it kind of bounce around. 8 to 12, 6 votes. 13 plus 6 votes. Wow, a lot of people doubting Breece Hall in here. We've got more doubters in here than I thought. 8 to 12, 9 votes. 1 to 5, we got 5 votes there. 6 to 8, 4 votes. Look at the 8 to 12. Okay. I'm real shocked at that 13 plus, though. I don't know what's going on there. We'll leave this up. The votes pinned in the chat if you want to vote. But 10 votes for 8 to 12. 13. We got some negative Nancy's in here. We got a couple fantasy Karens in here voting 13 plus. 13 plus. Running back 13? Really? Really? After all Smitty's talked him up, we're really going to have that many votes? 8 votes for a 13 plus finish? I don't know. Breece Hall is going to win leagues for people. In round 4, it's a smash. Home run out of the park, into the water. People are scrambling to find the baseball. Okay? In 3rd round, you're still hitting a home run into the stands. Maybe even a little bit over the wall. It's not like barely over the wall. 3rd round, you're crushing a home run into the middle of the first row of stands. The lower section. You're maybe not in the upper deck, but you're hitting a home run and winning a league. This guy's going to run for 10 plus touchdowns. Oh, Smitty, it's the Jets though, Smitty. It's the Jets. Don't you know? But Smitty, don't you know that the Jets, they're the same Jets. They don't produce running back. Who cares that they have one of the best NFL drafts you've ever seen in your entire life? Some of you weren't even thought of by your parents yet when a team had a better draft than the New York Football Jets had in this 2022 NFL draft in April. Your parents didn't even think of you. They weren't even trying to have you. You weren't even old enough to shard in your pants and sit in it for 2-3 hours while your dad watched Jet games and was mad yelling at the TV. Literally. This is the best draft we've seen a football team have on both sides of the football at the same time. And we've got 11 people doubting Breece Hall, probably because it's the Jets. And I get it. I understand it. I'm not really mad at it. And to be honest, we need this. These people right here are doing us a service. These 11 votes so far are putting Breece Hall's climb in check. It's holding him back from climbing into round 2. Thank God. We salute you. We appreciate you. Keep bringing it because we need it to hold and suppress the ADP value to remain in round 3. Because anywhere in round 3, we are hitting a home run. So we salute you. We thank you. We appreciate you. Edit says just because they had a good draft, they're going to be good. Well, usually, Edit, that goes hand in hand. Usually, you do have a real, not a good draft, Edit. I said the best draft you've ever seen. The best draft you've ever seen. The best draft I've ever seen. On both sides of the football, this team added like half of their players from this 2022 NFL draft, and they added monsters, bro. Monsters. They have a dynamic wide receiver crew. They've got 2 really good running backs. One of them's name is Breece Hall. You may have heard of him. And yes, they have a pretty decent backup quarterback situation that could come in if maybe Wilson craps the bed or gets, detoured on some of his off the field journeys that he's going on. Like Mike White's okay. I'm telling you, this team is will they win their division? No. Are they gonna beat the Buffalo Bills? No. Are they going to do it this year? No. Will they climb as fast as the Bengals did in a turnaround? No. But can they turn it around like the Bengals did? Absolutely. Could they be a rival to the Bills every single season 2 years from now? Yes. If you don't agree, that's fine. That's why we play the game. But Breece Hall is going to explode in 2022, and the vote is in, and it's overwhelming on the side of 8 and beyond, I would say. I guess there are 10 votes for the 1 to 5. I mean, 16 votes inside the top 8 and double digits for both 13 plus and 8 to 12. I'm a little shocked. I thought maybe we'd have some, some Breece Hall love in here more than we do. This is good news. This is good news. This is good news for you. It's good news for me. It's good news for everybody. We'll pull the poll up in a minute. But you can vote on that poll if you want. Continue to let the votes roll in. And maybe we'll do a poll on Leonard Fournette here in a second. Actually, let's do a poll on Leonard Fournette right now. Okay? Let's do this right now. We'll do it on Rashad White. Rashad White will start how many games in 2022? Vote on this poll right now. Vote on this poll. There we go. Replace pin message. Boom. Rashad White will start how many games in 2022? 2 votes, 5 to 10. 1 to 4. 111 plus, okay. 1 to 4. I should have put a 0, but I think we all know he's gonna play. He's gonna start at least 1 game, right? I should have changed that. Sorry, off topic. Higgins versus CD. Blair. I'll throw one up, Blair, but I can tell you right now, no one. Maybe some would vote Higgins, but CeeDee Lamb is a borderline first rounder. Higgins is getting drafted too early at the top of 3. So those two aren't even really close, bro. I don't know that that's going to be a poll question. Overcome says 10-man league, 1 tight end league. Chubb, Javonte, Chase, Adams, Kelsey, Andrews are the top 2 at the position at the 9-10 turn. Who do I take at 1.10 and 2.1? For me, it's Jamar Chase no matter what, okay? Then, for me, it's Javonte, and then Adams, Kelsey, and then Chubb and Andrews I don't want to take at that pick, bro. So I'm not going to tell you. CD over Higgins easily. Yeah, that's definitely an easy call. Legion, what's up? I traded Aaron Jones for Lamb. Your thoughts? I mean, I like it, especially if there's dynasty value or keeper value to it. Can't even tell if my vote goes through. Just keeps pressing the button. Well, I did put a 0. I'm sorry. I thought I didn't put a 0. I did put a 0. Okay. 0 games. Yeah, I did it right. 0 games. We have 4 votes. Brian tried to vote 4 times. Brian had only let you vote once. Brian tried. Brian might have got through. He might have used a couple different phones and stuff. Brian might have voted 4 times for 0. 5 to 10 games, 1 to 4 games, 11 votes. The masses in here apparently believe he will start at least 1 to 10 games. So let's get into the Leonard Fournette news. So I had a bunch of people. The reason I'm talking about it again, Leonard Fournette came in. Where's that graphic? He came in at 260 pounds, which is just an enormous amount of weight to come in at. 260 pounds at mandatory minicamp. He didn't show up for voluntary, right? Came into mandatory minicamp, 260 pounds. He's well overweight, well over 20 pounds overweight. Dropping footballs, struggling on the treadmill. I've got to lose some LBs. I went out and ran in the heat. I lost 3 pounds running today. For those of you that don't live in Arizona, you're going to call cap on this. And you're going to say, Smitty, that's cap. It's not. If you live in Arizona, when it's 110 to 123 degrees, it ranges in between that temperature. You lose water weight to the degree of 1 pound to 4 pounds when you go running 2 or 3 miles in the middle of the heat, sun above you, just dripping sweat. I lost 3 pounds, but it's water weight. I've got to take advantage of that and run tomorrow and run the next day and keep getting in shape and use it to my advantage. Working out and running tomorrow, even though it could be gained back in water weight, I'll be lighter. I'll be quicker. I'll be more agile. I can run faster, and then you build off that. So I don't want to hear, oh, water weight, you get it back, Smitty. Okay. I know what I'm doing. I've got to drop some LBs. That's the point. So I'm not trying to be critical of Leonard Fournette from that perspective. We all got to drop LBs. But this man does this for a living. Okay? He's a professional athlete. He's held to a higher standard. He's also getting older. He can't keep coming into camp 20 pounds overweight and then has to drop it like a boxer the night before a boxing match. You know, his body won't respond to that well. He's going to be more susceptible to injury because he's coming in overweight and having to cut down. The odds of him getting hurt just went up. I don't know what the odds are. Like, I could throw out an arbitrary guess of a number and say, maybe 10% more likely to get hurt now. I don't know. I feel like I can come up with something like that, though. I feel like I've got enough of experience with the injury stuff over the years that I could throw a number out that's pretty decent, pretty accurate, I think. I'd say odds of him getting hurt go up significantly. 5-10% minimum of coming in at 260, having to drop that weight and play as if he's 20 pounds lighter right now, carrying himself, hitting the ground 20 pounds heavier, going through the drills on his knees 20 pounds heavier. Your knees take a lot of abuse. Anybody that's gained like 10-15 pounds and gone running, it's hard on your knees, man. It feels like you're wearing a backpack full of weights or a meat suit. I feel like I'm wearing a meat suit when I'm running right now. I was 201 pounds before I tore my patellar tendon off my kneecap. I tore this sucker right off my kneecap. It snapped right here, and then the whole thing was floating in my thigh. I had my kneecap in my thigh. I was trying to push it back down, 10-second rule. I was in shock, and I'm like, maybe if I get it back down there, it'll be okay. I thought maybe it just went like this, you know? Like Mahomes. Mahomes is slid out. There's a crevice here where your kneecap is attached to the patellar tendon, and in Mahomes' case, this slid out like that, and then they just pushed it back in. So Mahomes didn't have a big deal, but because there's a little bit of slack on it now, because of that stretching, they had to be careful with his knee. And so when you get your kneecap out of socket like that, but you don't tear the patellar tendon, you have to be very careful, maybe wear a brace to make sure that it doesn't become a point where that's a little looser and it can slide out anytime. When you tear your patellar tendon, that sucker can pop back up depending on where you tear it. I tore it here. You oftentimes will tear it here. And then the kneecap's up here. So my kneecap was up there. I gained 20 pounds essentially through that injury. And I feel like a little Smitty Lacy, little Eddie Lacy action going on. I feel like I'm wearing a meat suit out there in 113 degree weather today, running in a meat suit. But I'm going to drop the LBs. Fournette could drop the LBs, but he's more likely to get hurt than I am. Not really. I guess I'm more likely to get hurt. But anyway, aside from that, this dude's walking into a competition. Maybe he doesn't think so, but Rashad White thinks so. And everybody in here, there are a number of people that believe so. Look at this. Look at this poll. You guys can vote on this poll if you want. We have 13 votes. It's pinned in the chat. 13 votes that Rashad White starts 1 to 4 games. We got 13 votes that he starts 5 to 10 games, and 4 votes. Those are probably all Brian that he starts 0 games. So we'll see what happens. Brian, are those all you? But anyway, Leonard Fournette. So why am I talking about Leonard Fournette again? We did this yesterday. Because I had DM after DM, comment after comment on Instagram. A lot of DMs that say, Smitty, you're just making up stuff. He didn't come in dropping footballs. What are you talking about? These are all, mind you, Leonard Fournette owners, okay? Because anybody that hasn't drafted yet is kind of listening and going, maybe I shouldn't draft him. You know, maybe I'll listen to this. I might not agree with you yet, but like convince me. Let me take it in. People that are adamant, like, no, Smitty. You're going to be wrong about Fournette. You'll see. Everybody's playing defense. Any Leonard Fournette defender out there is playing defense. You're playing defense. You have nothing. I have all the weaponry sitting in front of me. Okay? He's 260 pounds walking in, dropping footballs. They drafted Rashad White, the number 1 pass catcher in the NFL draft, not only this year, but probably the last handful of years minimum. Him and ETN are the best hands in the running back rooms coming out of college over the last handful of years. And I'm being generous by saying handful instead of decade. Okay? ETN, Rashad White. I've heard by people I trust, and you can trust that I believe these people or you cannot. I don't really care. I'm here to do what I do. I either gain your trust or I don't. And if you think that I don't believe these people, you got another thing coming. I'm hearing little whispers from birdies I trust that are connected to Tampa Bay, just like I have birdies that I trust that are connected to the Niners, that are connected to the Cardinals. I've got about 500 little chat groups that I talk to. Some of them hear bad information. Let's be honest. Sometimes a source is not good. So I try and take things with a grain of salt. I try and measure those things. But everything's adding up, and what your boy Smitty's good at, better than anybody in my opinion, is pattern recognition. And I'm recognizing patterns that match up with everything that I'm being told by little birdies. Little birdies tell me this. They say, or chirp, Smitty, Tom Brady is not happy with the running back room in terms of how they pass protect, in terms of how they run their routes, in terms of how they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, in terms of catching the football. I'm being told this by little birdies that I trust, and when I see things that match up with that, pattern recognition, okay? Leonard Fournette dropping footballs, coming in at 260. No one's happy about it inside the organization, and I heard that from the little birdies before people started writing on it. Then I get people that DM me and say, Smitty, you're just making up stuff. Where did he drop footballs? Where did he drop footballs? So here I come in, having to talk about it again, which I don't mind to do because it's a hot topic. But here's the report today, and then I'll get to the dropping footballs. Tampa Bay Times reports the Bucs coaches were not happy with Leonard Fournette's weight during the team's minicamp. Coaches were not happy, and that's an understatement. When Fournette didn't participate in OTAs, but then he shows up to mandatory minicamp weighing damn near 260 pounds, quote, end quote. There's not a good sign for a guy that you've just spent a 3-year contract on, perhaps Lombardi. Lenny, 27, is trimmed down in the past couple weeks, and there is photos of him looking a little more slim, but then there's the treadmill video where he's struggling like crazy. So that's that report that came out, and I wanted to address that. But everybody DMing me trying to, Schmitty, Fournette. Yes, you in the back. Yeah, Fournette owner here. Question for you. You said he's dropping footballs. Liar! Liar! I call liar, Smitty. You're making stuff up. He's not dropping footballs. Look, sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I read something, or I think I read something or whatever, and you know, I'll acknowledge that. Sometimes this is not that case. Like, I know what I'm talking about here. Okay, here's another report. This was a couple days ago, maybe even a week ago. Bucs running back coach Todd McNair said Leonard Fournette ad-libs his routes at times, and it can be up in the wrong. He can end up in the wrong place. So basically, this is what I heard from the little birdies, that this guy doesn't do what he's supposed to do when he's on the field during passing situations. Then he drops the football. So when you're running wrong routes, you're not where you need to be, and you're ad-libbing everything, and then you go ahead and drop the football on top of that. You know, like this report I'm going to show you in a second. Is that in here? I don't know if that report is in here. I got to find the dropping football report and put it on screen because people are DMing me on that. But there's a lot of negativity that's come out after I heard all these whispers. So I'm just telling you right now, you can say what you want. Where's the report about him dropping the footballs? Hold on. I got to find it because I need to put it to bed. Because I got people literally DMing me saying, Smitty, you're lying, Smitty. You're lying, Smitty. Dropping footballs. Tom Brady are comfortable together. Fournette has a clear best op. So there's a lot of people. Let's see. Where is this report? Here we go. Let me put this on screen. I just want to put this to bed because too many people are coming for my neck right now on this, and it's annoying. Come on. There we go. God. I swear, whenever I'm live, I gotta restart stuff. Right here. In the middle of this paragraph, it says, Stroud said Fournette dropped a few passes during his first minicamp session, a somewhat concerning sign for a running back with a history of drops. Uncle Lenny has a few months to get into fighting shape before the Bucs take on the Cowboys in Week 1. Okay, so the information's out there. I don't need to talk about that anymore. You can either believe me, you know, I don't need to go digging for everything, but there were so many people that came from my neck saying, Smitty, he didn't drop footballs. What are you talking about? He caught X number of footballs here. He caught X number of footballs here. What I said was he came into camp overweight and dropping footballs, and the team is not impressed. And what I was told months ago and before the draft is that Tom Brady, before the draft happened, said, I want a running back in here to do what we thought Giovanni Bernard was going to handle. Remember when they drafted Giovanni Bernard? They tried to solve the PPR concerns, the wide receiver or the running back room in terms of catching the football. They tried to solve it through Giovanni Bernard. It didn't work out. Tom Brady is not happy, and he wants a pass catching back in there. And who did they draft? The number 1 pass catcher in the NFL draft. Thought we were praying it was quiet in here. Sorry. I was trying to find that stupid clip to put it to bed. All right, so that's the Leonard Fournette stuff. Stay away from him. If he's going in round 3, get Breece Hall. Draft Breece Hall over Fournette. Draft Herbert over Fournette. Draft Burrow over Fournette. Draft Etienne over Fournette. Etienne's going in the 3rd round. The mid to late 3rd round or the early 4th round. You're really going to take Leonard Fournette over Etienne? Are you out of your minds? People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to
Get lamb.
You think Leonard Fournette's going to outscore Breece Hall or Etienne?
Wrong. Muy mal.
Who was it that said wrong? Who is that? Who do we get this?
Wrong. Muy mal.
Was it Noah? I forget who it was. Anyway, next piece of news here. This one's kind of interesting, and it's a little different than any of the Deshaun Watson news we've had. So bear with me. I know we've talked a lot about Watson, but Watson. There's a report here that Yahoo reported on saying Deshaun Watson and his camp will sue the NFL if he's suspended for the entire 2022 NFL season. There was also a report, and it was talked about on the Pat McAfee show earlier, that suggested that somebody close to Sue Robinson, who's making the determination on the suspension of Deshaun Watson, that let me see if I can get that graphic up at least so we can speak to it. But there's a report that somebody close to Sue Robinson, either inside her circle or had access to her information or files. This is coming from Pat McAfee earlier today. That says that it's going to be, here is intended, Deshaun Watson to sue over a full season suspension. The current thinking is that Judge Robinson's punishment will land in the range of 2 to 8 games. And so the thinking is with the 2 to 8 games is that will maybe be more acceptable, is what I'm hearing from some people. Everyone's speculating. More acceptable, and that Watson's camp would leave it alone if it was 8 games, right? And the NFL, it's kind of borderline for them to want to appeal that. 8 games is a long time. They may be okay, and nobody goes to Roger Goodell for the appeal. If this thing goes to appeal, so if the NFL says, we want to appeal it, Roger, it goes to Roger Goodell, and he deems what he thinks should be the punishment. Sue Robinson doesn't decide anymore. If it gets appealed, it goes to Roger Goodell. So he's the judge, jury, and executioner again, which is silly, because why even put Sue Robinson in place if you could just overrule her at all? Now, if she comes back with 0 games, no punishment, Roger Goodell can't do anything. There's nothing to appeal. It's over. However, everybody thinks they have a handle on this. It's such untapped water and territory. We haven't even gone near anything like this ever before. What if new cases get filed? You can't just blanketly say he's clean of anything that comes forward, no matter how many cases, no matter the evidence. If you go out and you, I don't know, slug somebody in the street, okay? And then you go out and slug somebody else in a different street, in a different city. And then you go out and you slug 2 different people in another city. You can't have somebody make a determination on one of those and say, well, this covers any kind of punching you've ever done on the streets of Phoenix or on the streets of San Diego or in Hawaii. If you took a little trip to Hawaii and punched some people, you're good. If new cases come out, I believe this whole thing could just start over. Like, this is being determined, but you can't make a determination on what if more stuff comes in. This is about what's in front of you. And there are 2 new cases that could potentially still be filed that we haven't heard anything about. I don't know where those cases went. There were 2 new cases that were supposed to be filed to make the 4 into 6 remaining cases. And we haven't heard about those. What happens if those get filed right after? Is that part of the legal team's, the prosecution's plan is to hold that back? And then right when the punishment comes out, file 2 new cases, and now the whole thing's open again? Like, I don't know what the strategy is. This attorney for on both sides, they seem to know what they're doing, and they're dragging this thing out like crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. It doesn't feel like, based on what I'm hearing, and it's speculative. Everyone's speculating. It's all educated guesses. Some of it isn't even educated. Some people are just throwing out stuff, and they're throwing mud at the wall, hoping it will stick so they can say they called it. But it sounds like this whole thing, especially with this report that some information may have leaked as to what she was thinking, that they're leaning more in the direction of under 10 games, above 2 games, somewhere in between. So I would say 6 to 10 is what we're probably looking at. But man, it could be anything. It could be anything. And what the NFL does, if it's 5 games or 6 games, I think they appeal that. If it's 8 to 10, everybody might leave it alone and say, let's just let this thing go. Deshaun Watson, you've got away with something by playing half a season. Hey, NFL, at least it's 8 to 10 games. He's out. It's going to cripple the Browns franchise for 1 year. And so it's tough. But do expect a lawsuit if the NFL ends up suspending him for an entire season. He'll have to reapply. This thing will get dragged out. He'll still miss the season. If this comes back, full suspension for the entire season, out indefinitely, has to reapply. Doesn't matter what he does. He could sue him. But the other thing, too, is his contract. If he's out for the entire season, his contract doesn't start until next year, which means that he got his $45 million up front, right, in a signing bonus, and he's getting paid $1 million in salary that is capable of being held by the NFL if they were to, essentially hold those wages or whatever. He doesn't start his contract until next year, so he's not going to get paid the 46 next year. He would start his contract in 2023 and he'd get paid $1 million. He already got 45 of it, but he would start his contract a year later. People think that he's going to get the 45 million signing bonus and the 1 million, and then next year he's going to get the 46 million. He won't get the 46 million. He'll get the 1 million if he doesn't play 2022. So interesting news there. Let's take it to the voicemails.
It's voicemail time. Drop a voicemail at the Fantasy Football Show on the gram. Tell your grandma.
He'll punch you in the throat.
It looks like we got a few people that are pretty high on Michael Carter in here. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Apparently you're putting it in there over and over and over. Look, let me tell you something. Breece Hall's a machine. Breece Hall is a running back one. Michael Carter is very good. Michael Carter is an amazing handcuff for Breece Hall owners. I agree. But Michael Carter is not holding back this first-round talent that the team got in round 2 that they very much consider to be a first-round talent. I consider to be a first-round talent. I consider to be a player that's a franchise game changer. So Breece Hall is going to ball and do a hell of a job in 2022. So get ready and buckle up. Final week of the preseason. Who are we stuffing in the cannons and launching toward Breece? Breece's pieces, baby.
Get Breece. Get Breece. Get Breece.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
Space Monsters is right. That man Breece Hall, sitting at the top right corner of the Spacemen crew, is going to the moon. Burrow's already there. ETN's on his way. Javante's on his way. Trey's on his way. Pollard's on his way. White will be boarding a shuttle at some point. We might need a space station where these guys can sit in between. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're doing it live. Not everything's completely mapped out in this show, but we do try and plan ahead and have a little bit of entertaining stuff going on. Algier, we might add Algier. Well, believe me, that we're adding people to this. I wanted to make a little fun, addition. I didn't want to have everybody out there at once. We're putting spacemen out into space one at a time, making dreams come true. So let's go to the voicemails and attack the questions you all have for me today. Let's go to voicemail group number 2 and see what you guys got. Voicemail group number 2.
Hey, Smitty, what's going on? Messing around doing a couple of these best ball drafts. The most common guys that I'm finding in all of these, I did about 4 or 5 of them. And in all these drafts, it seems like I'm getting DK in the 5th round on like 4 or 5 of these. And I'm also getting Kenneth Walker in the 9th on like every single one of these. Is there like any common players that you see like always falling to you through these best ball drafts? But for me, it's DK in the 5th and Kenneth Walker in the 9th. I've done that about like 4 times.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker is a league winner. I see your question, Aaron. You're saying no more Kenny Walker love. Aaron, have you not watched the show in the last like 4 weeks, bro? I talk about Kenny Walker every single day, Aaron. Every single day, Aaron.
Take a look.
come into my show and ask if I like Kenny Walker? Come on, Aaron. And like I said, I'm adding spacemen one at a time. We don't want to throw everybody out there at once. We want to have a little fun with it. Aaron, take a lap. Do I like Kenny Walker? What kind of question is that? Aaron, where have you been? You just admitted to everybody you haven't been watching the shows for X number of days. I'm taking Randall Cobb over DK this year. Ben's clearly having fun in the chat today. With all those comments. Okay. DK, you're finding DK. I find DK falling in best ball as well. I love DK. If DK's in the 5th round,
To the moon.
just completely to the moon. DK to the moon. Waddle, 5th round, monster steal. Hall in round 4. I mean, if you find him at 5, just walk straight to the bank. If you get Breece Hall in round 5, I really believe you could contact League Safe and be like, hey, is there a way I could get an advance on the funds? I'll give you guys 1%. They'll be like, we don't do that, bro. You're like, look at my team. I got Breece Hall in round 5. Holy, hey, Bill in accounting. This is League Safe. Hey, Bill in accounting at League Safe. This guy here, Bob, he's got Breece Hall in round 5. Can we go ahead and advance him the funds? Okay, yeah, okay. We can go ahead and do that. We'll punch it. We'll print out a money order for you immediately. Breece Hall in round 5. You won that thing. You won that thing immediately. You could take this to the you could take that to the payday loan people. You could literally walk into and I don't advise anybody to do those things. You could walk in and go, hey, Mr. Payday Loan Man, I've got an IOU that you're going to want to see. This IOU right here says I have Breece Hall in round 5 in a underdog fantasy draft. Promo code Smitty. Underdog fantasy. Link in the description. Get some. Promo code Smitty. Play it. Anyway, Mr. Payday Loan Advance Man, I got Breece Hall around 5. Oh, we'll give you a monster money order advance right now. Breece Hall around 4, home run. Obviously 5 home run. DK, Burrow around 6, bro. I've gotten Burrow around 7, which is absolutely ludicrous, which is absolutely crazy, which is insane. What else we got here? Smitty says, we need Fantasy Karen to complain about. On the moon. Smitty, I have many phone calls with you. You told me to trade Cooper Kupp last year. Sure, Ben. This guy Ben is first of all, we didn't do phone calls last year, Ben. So there you're caught. You're caught there, red-handed. Number 2, Ben, you've been saying things like you like Randall Cobb. You got your fame, your 1 minute of fame. Congratulations. Hope that helps you. And I'll give you a virtual hug. Appreciate you. Here's the next question by James.
Okay, Smitty, I got another fun one for you. All 3 of these receivers are dogs, like just complete animals. However, they all got 3 formidable other receiving options. Who will have the most targets based on their offense and the other options?
Spit it out, buddy. Come on.
Chase, Jefferson, Kupp. Make a case for each.
Just name the top 3 wide receivers. James. Come on, James.
Okay, Smitty. Based on their offense and the other options. Chase.
I love you, James. I'm sorry.
Kupp.
I love you, James, but I was like expecting some crazy question. You literally just listed the top 3 wide receivers. I've got a question for you that's going to change everything. Who do you like better, Jefferson, Chase, or Kupp? Look, you could flip a coin, James, a 3-headed coin. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you as the most gifted wide receiver in the NFL. Talent-wise, you put him in Cincinnati, he's going to blow all 3 of them out of the water. You put Kupp in Cincinnati or keep him in LA, he's fine. Like, he's top 1 to 3. I'm top 1 to 3. Chase is top 1 to 3. Jefferson's top 1 to 3. But give me Burrow. I feel like Jamar had a... You guys remember when I was plugging Jamar Chase and everybody and their mother was down Jamar Chase, saying he was a bust. He had a big start and then he fell flat for months. And your boy Smitty, I have so many testimonials out there, but Smitty told me to trade for Jamar in like right around double-digit weeks, and it won me my league. And people like have foggy memories. They're like, that was easy advice. No, it wasn't. There was a lot of doubt around Jamar Chase around mid-season on, and it wasn't until he cranked it up again, because he had a big slump where people were giving up on Jamar Chase. People were benching him before his explosion. There were a lot of people that benched Jamar Chase walking into that big monster bounce back. Just a big monster bounce back. So Jamar Chase could, in my opinion, without having that slump, without, getting his feet under him, having the rapport on lock with Burrow, who he already had from college rapport with, but Burrow and Chase, they could connect on 15 to 18 touchdowns in 2022. So I'm going to say Jamar Chase, but if you put Jefferson in a Bengals uniform, he would be to the moon, bro. He'd be to the moon. Let's see here. Smitty, what are your thoughts on Alvin Kamara? Anyone taking a chance? In the 4th round, in the very late 3rd round turn maybe, but like early 3rd or 2nd round, too risky. Kayla.
In one of my drafts last night, people were dodging the hell out of Matt Stafford. It just had him at the top of the ADP list at 71, and then finally when ADP got up to triple digits, someone picked him up. Is he really that avoidable?
What player was that? I'm sorry, I had to moderate something.
In one of my drafts last night, people were dodging the hell out of Matt Stafford.
Stafford?
It just had him at the top of the ADP list at 71, and then finally when ADP got up to triple digits, someone picked him up. Is he really that avoidable?
I think what probably happens is when you get to Stafford, you're right around 10 to 12 QBs being gone. So that's my guess as to what probably was happening there. When you have, because Stafford's right around number 12, or right around 9 to 12. And some people will take offense to that. But when you actually map out quarterbacks, and let me put the quarterbacks on the screen. I did this the other day, putting all the quarterbacks on the screen here. Hold on. Let me just fix that here. That's the topic at hand. I have a quarterback list right here. So if you look at, and this is not my order, this is the consensus data across the industry. Josh Allen, Herbert, Mahomes, Jackson, Kyler, Hurts, Burrow, Brady, Prescott, Wilson, Stafford's right around 11. So you have, if you already have people with starters, they tend to just ignore quarterback for 2 or 3 rounds or 4 rounds sometimes. You know what I mean? So probably what happened, Kayla, is you're seeing everybody just stop drafting quarterbacks, and he just sat there because nobody wanted to take him yet because everybody had 12 quarterbacks were off the board. That's my guess. Stafford's a good quarterback. He's got good fantasy value, but I think there's nothing to that. I don't think people are avoiding him for any reason.
Yo, Smitty, what's up? Victor here. What are your thoughts on Mark Ingram for the first 6 to 8 weeks that Alvin Kamara is probably going to be out? I think he has some upside, but what do you think?
Mark Ingram, I don't think can hang for a string of games. Like 1 or 2 games, could he do okay? Yeah. But I'd rather go after different players. Give me Tyler Algier, who could start the whole year, or who could be effective when I need him. Like if you're drafting Mark Ingram, you better not be starting Mark Ingram in week 1. Like if Kamara's out 6 games, by the time you use that player you're drafting where Mark Ingram is, so in the case of Mark Ingram, when you get to use Mark Ingram in week 7 or 8 or during bye weeks in week 9 and 10, he's already off the field. Like give me a guy that's going to help me down the way a little bit versus drafting Ingram, who you shouldn't be starting anyway. And if you draft Kamara and cuff him to Ingram, I suppose that's okay. But we don't even know if Ingram's going to be the guy. We have no clue. Stafford has no chance to get into the top 5 since he can't run, says Prime. And I'm not ripping on Stafford. Like I said, and I know people are going to probably say, oh, you don't like Stafford. I'm not saying that. This isn't my ranking. I'm just saying that, is it crazy to imagine someone taking Trey Lance over Stafford and making Stafford the 12 quarterback? And is it crazy to think that Derek Carr, who everybody's in love with, is getting ranked or drafted ahead of Stafford? So Stafford is the first quarterback after the 12, let's say. The 12 are gone. Okay, you got Lance or Rodgers or Carr, two of those guys above Stafford. Now Stafford's sitting on the board and you're waiting to draft him because he's not a starter in fantasy. He could be a starter. I'm just saying, based on the rankings, he's not a top 12 quarterback. Based on what people are, I think, where they're drafting him. Thank you, Victor.
Hey, Smitty, Terry here. Totally agree with Breece Hall. Breece Hall is going to be a stud in the NFL, including guys like ETN and Javonte Williams, like we're always talking about. But everybody keeps forgetting about some other guy in San Fran, Tyrion Davis-Price. Watch out, Elijah Mitchell and some of the other guys are. This guy is coming for their jobs. Tyrion Davis-Price is the real deal there.
I like Price, bro. I like Price a lot, but Sermon is definitely probably got a kung fu grip on the backup role right now, whether people want to believe in that or not. Like he is literally entrenched in the running for the backup role, and he knows the system. He's been working hard. The footage is crazy of how quick and agile he looks right now, and people can make fun of that all they want because he busted last year. But Mitchell's the guy. I think by midseason, Ty Davis-Price probably will have the backup role, but if he doesn't, having both of them cuffed to Mitchell is the only answer to alleviating any kind of, sorrow you might have later. And unfortunately, if you're in a small bench league, you can't. Okay, let's see here. Terry, you got one more?
Hey, Smitty, Terry here. Our startup Dynasty league that we finished a couple months ago. I'm not going to name all the guys I have. This is 25 guys. But what do you think of the guys that...
Yeah, real quickly, let me interrupt. Ron Navy made a good point. Some people, I think my chat, my comments might be kicking in again. Some people just need to be kicked for obsessive trolling. Look, I already blocked Ben. I don't block very many people, but when you come in just to try and be just create like dumb comments all the time and just trying to get a rise out of everybody, like you're not adding any value to the community. I very rarely ever block people from the channel. But if you're going to come in and try and bring a negative vibe to like everyone's trying to have fun and enjoy themselves. I mean, you got somebody coming in here going, "Ah!" I mean, that's what it felt like when he was in here. I felt like he was in here just going like this. We're all sitting here, and we're just talking. And all of a sudden, Ben's going, "Ah!" And then a couple minutes later, "Ah!" Like when you start going, Randall Cobb's going to be better than D. "Ah!" You come in here and do that, you're going to get removed. Like, why would we want that in the chat the whole time, every single show? Just a couple minutes later, like he's setting a timer every 2 minutes. "Ah!" You're gone. I'm just not gonna have it. Like, be a good part of the community.
That we finished a couple months ago. I'm not gonna name all the guys I have. This is 25 guys. But what do you think of the guys that sort of my core guys? Young team. I got Dak Prescott, ETN, Breece Hall, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Amon St. Brown, Drake London, George Pickens, Tony Pollard, Rashad White, and whole bunch of guys, Isaiah Spiller as well. I got a young team, but pretty sexy young team, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you almost have a lot of like second rounders, but that's okay. Like you have more than enough players inside the top 25. Like I love the wide receiver room. I love your running backs. Up and coming. Very, very much like that team. I think you're set up pretty darn good. I like it, bro. I like it a lot. I think my comments are coming back. Thank God. Like, I don't know what's the deal. I'm going to stop streaming to Twitter and all these other accounts. Let's check on the poll. The poll is linked in the chat if you guys want to vote on it. How many games will Rashad White start? And we have 16 votes for 5 to 10. We have 1 to 4 games, 14 votes. And it looks like Brian has found 5 different computers to vote 0. Brian, my boy Brian, stepping up. Sermon has more upside than Stafford, says Prime. I got Burrow around 8, which is like taking candy from a baby, which is true. That's really, really good, bro. Really, really good. Stafford hit his ceiling. He's got A-Rob now. Nolan's not having it. Look, Stafford's decent, but he's still around 10 to 12. Like, I think people take the way that I talk about that. I'm not sure if that's what you're suggesting, is that I'm not giving Stafford his respect. But I mean, how do you rank Stafford any higher than 10 to 14? Like, he's in that range. You got Carr. People want Carr in the top 5. People love Aaron Rodgers in the top, 6 to 10 sometimes. Like, it's all preference there. Dak, do you take Dak out? Do you take Russell Wilson out? Like, Stafford, it's hard for Stafford to be in the top 12. It doesn't mean that he can't be number 9. It's just 9 to 15 is very, very deep. Okay, let's go ahead and drop some of these. I don't know if these are new or not. I think these are all new from voicemail group 1.
Smitty, what do you think of this approach in Superflex? You take Justin Jefferson in the first round and maybe like a JT or a Jamar Chase in the second, but you have to go. You don't really get a good quarterback. Like, I ended up with Kirk Cousins as my QB1. What do you think of that approach?
So you're saying a Superflex taking JT in round 2? You can't get JT in round 2. You mean Javonte, I think.
Smitty, what do you think of this approach in Superflex? You take Justin Jefferson in the first round and maybe like a JT or a Jamar Chase in the second.
JT's going to be the first player off the board. I think you mean Javonte. But, I mean, look, Superflex, I've pretty much made it clear. My number one approach in Superflex, by far and away, is to grab a quarterback in the top 5 or 6, range. And if you can't, then you're kind of in a bind. And you got to take it. You got to take it one step at a time. And I need to know who's on the board. I can't even give you general advice if you don't have the players in front of me to spit out and tell me about. So if you have a top 5 pick, let's say, locked in quarterback, even top 6, you could say, I'm a little hesitant on Lamar this year, I'm not going to lie, but Lamar and Kyler, whatever one you want to put there. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. I like Trey Lance. You could go those two back to back at 12 and 13 if they were to fall. I don't even know both of them would fall. It depends on the league you're drafting in. But I think that if you go Kyler in round 1, you resort back to normal drafting in round 2, 3, 4, and play it by ear in round 4 or 5, I guess, for a quarterback if the right one fell. But I showed an example of this in a draft that I did. Let's see if this is the right team. Here's my team. So this is a Superflex draft I did on Instagram where I got Kyler at the 1.9. So I didn't get a top 5 pick, but I still deployed the strategy. Tell me I didn't crush this draft. Tell me I didn't absolutely... Somebody in here be bold enough to tell me that I didn't absolutely smash this draft. I did this on Instagram Live. I told everybody what I was going to do, and it was easy to deploy. It's easy to deploy. Everybody goes quarterback hungry in round 2 because they get scared. But look at your boy Smitty. Look how I doubled up on Davis and Watson. I think I'll be fine there. Davis busts. I'll put in another player in the Superflex spot, which isn't ideal, but it's worth taking the risk to stock up on what I did. So my advice, the Bruce, is to do what I did here. What I did here was absolutely dominate. I took Kyler Murray in round 1 and I resorted back to drafting like normal, as if I'm back in round 1 in a 1 QB league. Once I get to this pick right here, I pretend the first round didn't exist. I pretend I literally, look, I want to hide the first round. This is what I do. I draft Kyler, and then I pretend the first round never existed. Now, first round, I'm taking DeAndre Swift. Second round, taking Deebo Samuel. Third round, taking A.J. Brown. Fourth round, taking George Kittle. Fifth round, taking Terry McLaurin. Sixth round, I took 6.4. I took Kenneth Walker. Davis Mills, and that was because everyone was sniping all the running backs. I took them a tad bit earlier than that 6.10 that I'm talking about. Davis Mills, Deshaun Watson. Look at that, Superflex. You didn't even know. If you just joined right now, you go, that's a really good team in a 1 QB league, Smitty. You didn't even know this is a Superflex team. I'm hiding Kyler. Absolute. Who thinks that team isn't bad? Is bad? Frank says he loves it. Absolutely love that team. Such a good Superflex team.
Hey, Smitty, what do you think of Jamar Chase getting robbed out of the top 10 in Madden? What's your opinions on that?
Jamar Chase getting robbed out of the top 10? What do you mean?
Hey, Smitty, what do you think of Jamar Chase getting robbed out of the top 10 in Madden? What's your opinion?
Oh, in Madden. I'm like, the Bruce, you've lost it at this point if you think he's not a top 10 player. I got you, Bruce. Okay, I'm sorry. I think Madden's crazy, bro. What do they have Herbert at? What's Herbert at? If Herbert is not literally 95 or above, whoever's running Madden, somebody died. Whoever was supposed to be in charge of the Excel spreadsheet died before they had to make any edits or changes. And they literally walked down to the next office and they said, "Hey, Philip, Mark died and he was taking over the Madden ratings. Philip, you're next man up. I know you don't know how to even work Excel. I know you might actually delete like a column, a set of numbers. But you're in charge, buddy. You're in charge, broski." 89 overall for Herbert. If you tell me Herbert's 89, I just don't care about the rankings. If you tell me Jamar Chase isn't, him, Jefferson, and Cooper Kupp aren't all 97 or above, it's ridiculous. It doesn't even matter. It's irrelevant. It's almost like they're using previous years. Philip doesn't know what he's doing. Philip is absolute garbage. They need to give Madden ratings to somebody that can talk about these players as if they're going to do something, not as if, okay, prove to me. Like, I understand you got to put like Trey Lance probably at like 82. You know what I mean? Like, give me a Madden player. I'll rank them. Tell me I'm cap on my rankings. My rankings are on point. Okay? So I'll give you the first one. Trey Lance, 82. Because he's got to prove it a little bit and he'll get higher. He'll get midseason. They'll update it. He'll be well above 82. But you can't give him more than an 82. I understand that. But Trey Lance with his running ability, you have to factor all that in. How do you not factor that in? How do you not say to yourself, 82? You know, this guy can run the ball. He's going to be really good in Madden. 82. 82. Herbert, this would be my Madden score. Herbs would be 95. And we give him room for improvement, right? But 95. This guy is the best start in NFL history for quarterbacks through 2 years. The best start in NFL history. And you're going to give this man an 89? Are you out of your mind? This is like where they're going to give like Julio Jones. Somebody look up Julio Jones. Look up Julio Jones. Julio Jones is probably higher than like Debo. I believe I heard Debo was 89. You got to give Herbert 95. You can't give him 100. You got to give him room for improvement. This would be fair. I would be all over this. They should hire me to do the Madden scores. I know what to do. Like Breece Hall, I would say you can't give someone a 95 when they haven't taken over yet. But Breece Hall would be around like a 90 because of his upside and ability. You can't just put him at 78 or 82 or something like that. You have to give him off the raw talent. You can't give him anything that would be top 5 or 10 for running backs, but you give him borderline top 10 running back ability. Anybody in the top 10 at their position would be a 90 or higher for me. You couldn't put someone in the top 10 and put him at 85. Josh Allen 95, Mahomes 97. Allen should be right there at 97 with Mahomes. Somebody gave me one that I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, someone look up Julio. I want to know what Julio is. I want to know if somebody thinks Julio Jones. Like, if Julio Jones is an 85 or more, I'm going to lose my mind. Yeah, rookies get more than 80. I'm telling you it's wrong. I could be okay with this for Breece Hall. I could be okay, like put him one point below. But someone give me Julio Jones. I want to know what Julio Jones' Madden rating is, because that's going to tell the whole story. He's probably like, no, Swaggy says he's probably a 75 by now. I'm asking what Madden's going to score him. Are they going to put him at 87? Is this a nostalgic rating? It's ridiculous.
Hey, Smitty, who's better in redraft and Dynasty, Devontae Smith or Christian Kirk? Thank you.
Devontae in both cases, bro. In both cases, that's easy. I mean, I like Kirk a little bit, but no.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? What do you think? Waddle for McLaurin, I was offered straight up. Do you go with McLaurin being the lone receiver, or do you go with Waddle, even though Tyreek Hill's there?
You got to go McLaurin over Waddle, I think. I mean, first of all, McLaurin's a better player than Waddle. I'm not trying to disrespect Waddle. You guys know I love Waddle. Waddle essentially could go to the moon.
To the moon.
Like, you don't give a moon shot out just for nothing, but McLaurin.
To the moon.
The thing about McLaurin is he's a top 5 to 10 wide receiver. People just don't know it. It's not his fault. He doesn't have a quarterback. He doesn't have a consistent quarterback. Now he's got an upgraded quarterback situation. That's really good. But you can't expect the world out of McLaurin until he gets an elite quarterback. So I think he'll be majorly upgraded, but Scary Terry for me. I think Waddle's right there. If Hill goes down, then Waddle season's in full effect. But I think with Tua under center, we can't really put Waddle ahead of McLaurin, but he's right there. He's nipping at his heels. I love Waddle a lot, but there's only so many footballs that could go around. Kilpatrick, let me look for your question, bro. Let me look for your question. Where's your message, bro? What group are you in, bro?
And here is the
What group are you in? I'm gonna go back to voicemail group 1. Tony.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? What do you think? Waddle for McLaurin?
That's the same question. Thank you for that question. Jim.
Hey, Smitty. I love both of these receivers. I think they're both top 5 to 10 talent-wise in the NFL, but they're currently stuck in bad offenses with bad quarterbacks. For redraft and or dynasty, really, which fourth-round current wide receiver would you rather have this year? Would you rather have McLaurin or DK Metcalf?
Metcalf. Metcalf's a specimen. I like McLaurin a lot. I just told you how much. I think DK Metcalf is more capable, given that they're both in bad situations. Terry Roberts sporting the hoodie, and Terry says there's only 77 likes and 121 in here. Please punch the thumb up button. I really believe that DK's gonna have a good year. DK's 10 TD capable no matter what's going on. He actually did well with Geno, so I think he could do well this year. I really like DK. He's a specimen, man. He's a specimen. He's a top 10 wide receiver. I like both of them as my wide receiver 1 in a strategy where I'm waiting on my wide receiver 1. So if that answers your question. Thank you, Terry. Terry's sporting the hoodie. Is this real, Prime? This is why Madden's a joke. Confirmed. Julio's rating is an 84. They gave Debo an 89, I think. You're going to put Debo at 89. You're going to still give Julio an 84. A joke. Phillip is a joke. Phillip, you should be fired from your first day dropping Madden ratings, bro. Absolute garbage. Just garbage. The Bruce.
Hey, Smitty, I don't know if you answered this, but I just remembered Robbie Anderson tweeted a long time ago that he didn't want Baker to be his quarterback. Well, now that he is, should the Panthers keep him or should the Panthers cut him for Baker Mayfield?
They're not going to cut him, but I think, I don't know. I don't know if Baker's going to be efficient or not, you know. Like, at least the team's got options now. We'll see what's what. But Baker should make DJ Moore a little bit better. It should make the offense a little bit better. I don't hate Baker. I just don't love him.
We can rise up ADPs, but can we rise down ADPs? It's always a
For
question
sure.
I've always had. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
To the moon you are, Smith.
to the moon you are. the Bruce. I love the Bruce, man. Listen.
Thank you. And to the moon you are, Smitty.
To the moon you are. To the moon you are, Bruce. We need that to be a phrase now. Hold on. To the moon you are, Bruce. I love the Bruce. I love the Bruce's thick skin. This guy bounces back like no other. You could yell at him and he acts like it didn't even happen. He could get attacked by lions and the next day he'd show up. To the moon you are, Bruce. I love it. It's such a good. It's a t-shirt. To the moon you are, Bruce. Appreciate you. I forget the Bruce's question.
Hey, Smitty, we can rise up.
Oh,
ADP.
yeah, ADP. So, like, us not drafting Fournette, we can definitely change his ADP. Us not drafting Akers over and over, as high as everybody else, we could definitely affect ADP for sure. For sure. It happens the exact same way. To the moon you are, Bruce. To the moon you are. We got a question here from Silver.
Hey, Terry, that hoodie's nice, brother. Looking good, bro. Hey, hey, guys. Is this Houston? Yeah, this is Silver. I'm just kind of touching base, kind of reporting in with you guys, letting you know what's going on. And I seem to be going through some paperwork here, and we have one guy that's set for Moonshot 1, ready, set for takeoff in 10, 9, 8. Well, anyways, we got one guy without a boarding pass, and his name is Dalton Schultz.
To the moon.
Yeah, Dalton's got to be on the board. We're gonna add him slowly, like
the Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
Space Monsters, baby. We got to add Dalton to this list. Let me see if I can do it now. We'll do it now. Dalton Schultz. I need to find an image for him here real quick, and we're gonna add him here. And to the moon.
To the moon. The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
So let's put him on here. Dalton's got his boarding pass. He's ready to go. And we will put his little nameplate here. Hold on, Dalton. Hold on. Part of the Moon Man. Schultzy. Schultz. Boom. There we go. Now, we got a lot more names to add to this, so it's going to get kind of crazy. We got Kenneth Walker we got to put on here. We've got, just a lot of players. I want to keep it thin. I don't want to necessarily put everybody we love on here. These are all league winners. Kenneth Walker for sure will be added. I can tell you that right now. Terry's got a Discord question from the Discord group. Let's go ahead and answer that and get back to the voicemails here. Where's Terry's message? Terry, where's your message at? Terry Roberts, where is he at? Terry. I get so many DMs. It all gets sent down. Like, I don't even know. Terry, DM me real quick so it pops to the top. I get so many darn messages, bro. This one's from Gary. I don't know if this is Gary asking a question for the show.
What up, Smitty? Quick question for you. How high can DeAndre Swift's ADP climb? Thanks, man, for all your advice.
Attaboy, Gary. Appreciate you, Gary. Hey, Gary, I'm answering your question at 1 hour and 22 minutes into the show, in case you're not watching. His ADP could climb into 6 to 8 overall if we all get crazy. He could finish as a top 2 to 3, top 2 to 4 running back in 2022. He could be the number 2 running back. It wouldn't shock me. He could be the number 3 running back in PPR. It wouldn't shock me. So I would say his ADP could come in the 6 to 8 range if everybody gets excited. If there's some kind of news that breaks on him, a little piece of footage, anything can move anybody. Lazard to the moon, no, bro. Peaker, we can't put. No offense to Lazard, I like Lazard. We give Lazard moonshots once in a while, but we're not putting on this select group of names.
The Moon Men.
We can't put Lazard.
Dropping loads in outer space.
These are monsters, bro.
Space Monsters.
This is not for Lazards or lizards, bro. This is for monsters. A lizard's not a monster. Maybe there are monster lizards out there, but Lazard's a normal lizard. Like, he's good. Gage is good, Manic, but we can't put Gage or Lazard on the monster list, bro. We just can't do it. I like him. I could give him moonshots. But Bryce season. Who's Bryce, JD? Bryce season. I think everybody. There are a lot of people that think his name really is Breece Hall. There are a lot of them. Bryce season. Do it. Do it live. His name's Bryce. Bryce is the ticket. Let's see. Terry, here we go. Terry's message here is...
Hey, my hoodie just...
Oh, here we go.
Hey, Smitty, got a Discord question for you. Would you rather have Javonte Williams or Breece Hall and ETN? Would you rather have Javonte Williams or Breece Hall and ETN?
Breece Hall and ETN?
Ask on Discord.
I mean, I'd take the two running backs. Javonte or Hall and ETN. Whew. I mean, if you can... I could get vetoed, bro. I love Javonte. I love Javonte, but to get ETN, who, you know, could be as good, to get Breece Hall or Bryce Hall, as some of you call him, to get the Brysonator, to get Bryce or Breece. On top of that, bro, easy. I love Javonte. Easy call. Send Javonte packing. Probably the easiest question I've had, and that's hard to say.
Hey, Smitty.
But it's
Discord question from B-Men.
B-Men.
Would you rather have Javonte Williams
Be a man.
or Breece Hall and ETN?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate you, buddy boy. That's from B-Men. Be a man. Josh. No, I got that from Silver. Ryan Wade.
I'm just going to resubmit this question. I was offered a trade today. Rashad Penny and Mike Williams for Tony Pollard, Zeke. Straight up, it's a 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, tight end premium. What do you think?
Mike Williams and Penny for Zeke and Pollard. I mean, like, let's first look at this objectively before I give you my answer. And definitely tell me what you think in the chat. I'd like to see what your guys' reactions are. For as many games as Penny plays, Penny and Mike Williams will outscore Zeke and Pollard. But it depends on whether you need a running back very badly, because Zeke and Pollard are going to give you more longevity on the year, because I don't believe that Penny will hold on to the job. And I like Mike Williams, but he is a risky guy. You know, Penny and Mike Williams are both risky players. I love Mike Williams, but I think I'd probably take the 2 running backs if you need the running back position all year. If you don't really need Penny and you're not really in dire need of Zeke or Pollard, and Mike Williams would play in the flex spot anyway over Zeke and Pollard, I'd probably maybe roll with that. But I don't know, man. Pollard's going to have such a big year. I think he could look like a monster at the end of the season, but he's a risk. And Zeke and Pollard could both, eat into each other's workload. And, there's a shot that maybe Zeke Elliott and Pollard, they just both keep eating into their production, and neither one of them is a running back one. There's that chance. Penny could be great for 4 games and then get hurt. Mike Williams could be a monster or disappoint. So, yeah, there's no real answer here. The chat's giving you some good advice too. But because I love Pollard so much, I go with the upside, bro. I go with the upside. Pollard is on the moon board, bro. Pollard is out of all these guys, I like Mike Williams. I think we've given Mike Williams moonshots before, and he does deserve a moonshot, but Pollard lives in the atmosphere
to the moon,
and he's on his way to the moon currently. So I'm gonna lean Pollard, but you can make arguments. I'm not saying you can't. Kyle.
Hey, Smitty, I know you're not feeling CMC this year, but I think he might be worth the risk. And then what's the difference between him and Dalvin Cook that you predicted a great year the following year with a worse injury?
Well, Dalvin Cook was younger, so it's a good question in theory. Why would I like Dalvin Cook? And I predicted Dalvin Cook to be a top 5 running back. The year he broke out, he tore his ACL. He came back and had a bad year, which is why I tell everybody to stay away from J.K. Dobbins. Stay away from ACL-torn running backs their first year back. Everyone thinks, they'll be 100%. It's been a full year since they had to, No, it doesn't matter. You need a full year of playing on the torn ACL before you can get back to form. Not to mention, J.K.'s on a running back by committee with a rookie like Batty behind him and a vulturing quarterback that's going to steal touchdowns. Like, what are you thinking drafting J.K. in the 3rd and 4th round, people? But as far as Cook was young. McCaffrey's already had all the mileage that Cook didn't have yet, that Cook's racking up now. All that mileage wasn't, in front of him yet, man. So Cook coming back as a young man with his career just starting is different than McCaffrey having 2 years of disappointment on the back and off the back end of having a very lengthy career where he was a beast for a handful of years, bro. Like, CMC was the biggest percentage of his team's offense over any other player in the NFL for multiple years in a row. And now we have 2 years where we've never seen this man McCaffrey return. I don't hate him. Like, I'd take him at 7 in one league or 6 in one league. I've mock drafted him recently, and I don't mind it. It looks okay. But I'm doing it in one league, man. I'm not drafting him in multiple leagues. I'm not taking down multiple ships because of this man McCaffrey. I'll take one ship down. I'll send one ship out into the ocean with McCaffrey as the commanding captain. No problem. One team out of like 10. So 10% ownership. 10% shares of this man CMC. That's it. That's it. Don't be doing more than that. You're running the risk of having multiple teams go down, multiple ships sinking in the ocean. When you don't need to do that, you could draft safer players. Why not have Jamar Chase or JJ? Rock out with another one.
And possibly, maybe they can do like a Cleveland style where he's not getting all the load, where it's like a Chubb and Hunt type of thing, even though Hubbard's not like the same type of player as Hunt.
I don't know, bro. Nothing changes. Like, I feel the way I feel about CMC. I want him in one league. If I'm wrong on CMC, I don't want to watch as a spectator. I want him in one league. Give me him in one league. You can't say I'm doubting him or I'm not high on him or whatever if I'm going to draft him in one league. I'm just saying I want him in one league. I want him in 10% of my leagues. I do 10 of them. I'll take him in one. Because I don't want to watch him have a comeback season. He's capable. I mean, he hasn't dropped off physically. By the way, can I ask you guys a question? You remember when I did a Todd Gurley 10,000 times? I might have done it 5,000 times. There is a running back. His name rhymes with damn Pakers. That I may do a no said player's name 10,000 times in a row. With a counter that you're going to see on the screen. And I'm not, I can make comments in between if I want, but I literally have to go through 10,000 times as awareness. Is that even of interest to you? I know you guys love the videos, and I think some of you might say, Smitty, I'd rather just have a show that we can engage with, and that's kind of my fear. But there is something to the awareness of it, to actually go through the motions for 10,000 times, which will take me hours to do. Is it an important enough topic? Is the impact of such a video, is an impact of such a video worth doing that? So I want to know, do I do that, or is that going to make people say, oh, I don't want to, like, would you sit here with me for, check in? You don't have to sit here the whole time. But if I do another video of no said player that rhymes with Pam Takers, no Pam, 10,000 times, are you here for it? That's all I want to know. Let me know. Because that's the player. That's the player we're bringing up. To the moon you are, Bruce. I love the Bruce, man. If I could adopt you, the Bruce, I would. I really would. Let's see here. I think we're done. Let's go to the voice. Let's go to the phone lines. Appreciate you all. Let's go.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL. Dong.
Let's see what we got today. Dial in. Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL. Dong.
What's up, who dat dude? Akers will eat this year. He may eat from the sideline, bro, when he's resting whatever body part he hurts. Always here for everything, Smitty. No Pam. No Pam. No Pam takers. No Pam takers. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, how you doing, Smitty? It's the Raid.
It's who? Who?
Sarade, can you hear me?
Yeah, Saray?
Okay. Sarade, yeah, like sir and then raid, like the bug spray.
Okay. I just wanted to, nice to meet you.
Yeah, no, you're good. I had a quick question, more of on a long line personal. I was kind of off on Javonte Williams, and, trying to start to get back on board because of the new coaching staff, and I have a keeper league. So I was kind of thinking, do you think I should keep Javonte or keep Stephon Diggs and try to get Javonte in like the third or fourth round? Kind of stuck on that decision right now.
I mean, my answer is going to be Javonte. Like the way I look at this question, it's very easy for me to answer these questions because sometimes it's head scratching when people come to me and ask me, and I'm not trying to suggest your question's bad or anything. It's good you're asking it because I want other people to like conceptualize and look at it from this angle. Like, where are you drafting these players? Like, if you ask me, and your answer might be different, and that's why you're struggling with it, and that's fine. But, like, when someone comes to me and says, should I keep, and they name a player like like Aaron Jones. Should I keep Aaron Jones or Javonte? And then I ask them, like, hey, Bob, where are you drafting Aaron Jones? Probably at 2.5, Smitty. Where are you drafting Javonte? Probably at the turn, Smitty. Okay, so you're really considering keeping Aaron Jones over Javonte when you just told me in a draft? Like, why treat it any different than a draft? Your decision should be driven off of where you draft him. So if Javonte to you is beyond Diggs, and he might be for some people, like in a redraft, Diggs might go around 11, 12, 13, 14. Javonte might go at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? So it is a good question if you believe Javonte is not a steal at the 12-13 turn. Now, I'm all about getting Javonte as late as you can. Like my example of hitting a home run, you can hit it out of the park just barely or into the middle of the lower deck, or you can knock a home run over the stadium into the water where the Bruce and his dad and family are in there with the motorboat scooping up these baseballs and selling them on eBay for a big profit. That's what I picture the Bruce doing for a living. The Bruce, tell me if I'm wrong. Do I think the Bruce would be so great at that? I think he get every single one of those baseballs. This tenacity is unmatched. So let me ask you a question. Where do you draft and redraft Diggs in redraft? 12, 11, 13?
But I don't know what, our draft number is going to be until 30 minutes before the draft. So I have no idea. But I had him last year, so I have an opportunity to keep him as a keeper. But I'm thinking I can probably get Javonte in the third or fourth round, whereas I know I'm not getting Diggs that late. So that was kind of why I was. If you think you can get about what to do.
With keeper value included in this, because this is not a redraft league. This is not a dynasty league, but it's not a redraft league. It's a keeper league.
It is a redraft league.
No, you're
a redraft and a keeper league.
Yeah, but
okay,
keeper is not redraft. Keeper is like a brother or sister of dynasty in a sense, more than it is redraft. So if you
I didn't think about it like that, but good point.
If you have long-term value at all attached to Javonte, he goes up. So I don't see you getting him in the third or fourth round, bro. I mean, I don't know if you could have 11 other owners that feel that. Like, I see one or two people having that kind of stance on him, but literally 11 other, unless you're in a 10-team league, 8-team league, 4-team league. I can't see 11 other people having that same mentality with him. So I would say for me, I like Diggs, bro. But give me DK and Javonte over Diggs and the running back you end up getting stuck with down lower. You know what I'm saying? Like, is Diggs that much? Like, Diggs is... I love Diggs, okay? But is there a world where McLaurin or Waddle or DK could rival his stats? Like, could hang with him? Or other wide receiver. Insert whatever wide receiver you like that's going like around that territory. You're talking about like fourth round, maybe bottom of the third. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, but my mentality, honestly, this year is going to be different than most years. I'm looking to build my team around wide receivers anyways, because I know I can find viable running backs, either a handcuff, somebody gets injured, or somebody like Devonta people are sleeping on, get him on the third, fourth round. And then eventually they'll become the starter anyways. So that's kind of what my mentality is. Honestly, first 3 rounds, I might just take wide receivers.
And I don't hate that idea, but Diggs is not a spring chicken, so it's not like he has that, okay, I'm going to draft young wide receivers. Like, I like Javonte over Diggs all day long. Like, here's the thing for me. It's different for you. It's different for everybody else. It's fine. Like, everybody's got a different opinion. It's why we play the game. But to me, when I'm at 13, if Javonte's there, I take him every time. I don't really care if I'm reaching. The problem is I could trade down, and I would if I knew for certain that if I traded down, I would get Javonte at 15. Am I moving up significantly somewhere where it makes it worth that gamble? But when I'm at the 12 and 13, I'm pretty content. I'm not really wanting to play with fire, bro. I usually take Swift and Javonte, or if you went like Diggs and Javonte, or whatever combination, if Swift was gone, Javonte feels like a home run from 13. Anywhere as your second drafted player, you could crush and win your league. This man was the number 1 running back in broken tackles, bro. He was getting half the work. And as I did a video the other day where it was like, where's my Javonte Williams? Here it is. I had it in the trash can. The instructions for how to use Javonte Williams were passed down from Vic to Hackett. And they say, Dear Hackett, Vic here. First off, good luck as the head coach. Make sure you don't use Javonte. Use him halftime at most, and dial back if he gets the 25-30 broken tackles, he can't exceed that. So make sure you only give him half the carries. Don't feed a Jonathan Taylor. He's Jonathan Taylor, bro. He's Jonathan Taylor. If you think he's not Jonathan Taylor, then that's fine. But we see it completely different. Like, I love when people say, Smitty, I like Javonte, but No. You don't like Javonte if there's a but at the end of that statement. You don't think Javonte's a top 5 running back in the making if there is a but at the end of that statement. Javonte Williams, by 2 coaching staffs, is going to be kept off the field? I don't think so, bro. Not to mention, they dialed him back to save him. Vic thought he was staying. Apparently, he was trying to save him, not put mileage on him that was unnecessary. And you're not just going to say, oh, well, Melvin Gordon looked efficient. We're going to keep literally a top 2 to 3 in almost anyone's eyes. You even have ESPN and outside sources ranking running backs. Like, I don't know if you saw that running back ranking in the NFL. Javonte Williams hasn't even started, and they had him in the top 10, bro. Everybody knows he's coming. And just like it was laughable when people said, Nyheim Hines, I'm scared of Nyheim Hines, Smitty. He's going to take all the PPR work, and what are we going to do about Jonathan Taylor? Jonathan Taylor was fine. You're not going to not give Jonathan Taylor the football. You're not going to not give this guy JT the football, and they're going to live in the red zone. Give me JT all day long because you also get keeper value, bro. The value of keeping him is going to be phenomenal next year.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's really the main takeaway from what you said is shifting my whole mindset away from it being a redraft league, whereas the value of being able to have him as a keeper, it's totally different. And that's the mentality I really have. I looked at it as both being a redraft and a keeper league, but it's not, like you said. So I definitely appreciate their advice. It's hitting from a different angle than I even expected.
Yeah, and because Diggs is so much more replaceable, because they're like the third and fourth round, and I know that we're talking about different rounds essentially, but when you get there, who's your other keeper?
I only have one keeper. It's
okay.
Going to be Javonte now at this point.
Yeah. If you keep Javonte, and then you're able to go get a McLaurin or a DK, and worst case scenario, you might get a wide receiver much better than that. You get a Debo, you could get a Lamb. I don't know how it's going to look for you and what players were kept, but you could easily replace Diggs more than you can replace Javonte, in my opinion. And that isn't to say I wouldn't go, like, I don't know where Breece Hall is in this conversation. You know, like, I'm with you in that I lean a little wide receiver sometimes when things get a little dicey with the running backs. But if you end up getting even Hall and DK, or Hall and McLaurin, like, you're going down a really good path. All right, pal.
Yeah, I feel you 100% on that.
Yeah, trust your gut, though. Don't let me, only if you're, like, on the fence, let me, detour you away from something your gut's screaming. Like, if your gut later screams Diggs, go Diggs, man. Diggs is going to be just fine. Diggs isn't going to hurt you. Like, let me put it this way, not to confuse matters even more, but is Diggs safer in PPR? Probably. Right. But I don't care about that. If I feel in my gut that Javonte is he's a JT, he is a JT. I'm rolling that way. Like I don't. It's not like he's an older player that suffered a bunch of injuries or anything like that, like McCaffrey. I'm going Diggs over that probably, especially with the keeper value, because I think Diggs is a little more keeper value than McCaffrey. Because McCaffrey, in my opinion, has this 1 year if he even does it. And then we're starting to worry the hell up, all about whether he's going to play another year and another year. But yeah, I mean, trust your gut, bro. Appreciate you, and call in any time. You said Sarade? Is it Sarade or Sarad?
Sarade.
Sarade. Okay, I got you in here so I can address you when you call in again. Call in any time. Good call, man.
Will do. Thank you.
Later.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL.
Let's go. No one's talking about Diggs disappeared. I mean, that's the other thing is, like, Diggs had good numbers and his efficiency is always really good, but, like, he's not like a home run over a DK. He's not. I would draft him over DK. I'm not saying that. DK's a third or fourth rounder for a reason, right? But I'd take DK over Diggs if I can make sure I get Javonte. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Is this Ron?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ron.
What's going on, Smitty?
Ron, the chat's gonna put you on a timer, bro. The chats are putting you on a timer.
No, that's fine.
They want you to crank out something amazing right now, Ron.
Well, I'm calling in to pass on some sourced information, okay?
Do it.
And that's all I'm doing. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm not saying that I like this player at all. But I'm going to physical therapy, right? Over at Andrews Institute. That's where a lot of these pros go, right?
Yep.
Well, we got talking about football today, and he brought up, because I'm saying you're going to get busy here soon because training camp's starting, so probably you're going to see some injuries. He goes, yep, happens every year, and then we got on to Cam Akers talk because he's like really good friends with the physical therapist for the Rams. They all know each other, and he said that he was told by the Rams physical therapist that Akers like 100% ready to go. So that's all the information I'm passing on. I know you don't like it. I know you don't like Akers this year, but I just figured I'd pass that information on since I was at physical therapy today and it just came up, and I figured I'd just pass it on.
Appreciate you, Ron, and I'll address it right now. Thanks, Ron.
All right.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Talk to you later.
Yeah, here goes I'm going to address it, so watch. All right, thanks, Ron. Okay, so Akers. I don't know how many more times I can say this without just beating a dead horse, but we have zero examples of a running back ever recovering from a torn Achilles tendon. Zero. in becoming a top 10, top 12, even top 15 running back, whether it was returning to a running back or climbing up to become a top 10 running back. Now, there are certain scenarios where you could say his job wasn't waiting for him, because when a running back has a short shelf life of 3 or 4 years, we don't have a lot of good examples of where a team is going to let the running back job remain open when a player tears their Achilles. So in counterpoint to what I say all the time, the counterpoint would be that Akers is in a unique situation that the job is still potentially there for him, right? So that is something we haven't seen before. You tear your Achilles, you're out of the league. I would venture to say 90% of every single Achilles injury tear within 1 year, that player's never returned. Never returned. Either never returned to be in a lineup, maybe returned and been a third or fourth running back. Never returned. We have Deonta Foreman and Marlon Mack are the only two running back examples we have where an ACL tear occurred and these players are on the field and they're playing. So we have zero examples. You can say all you want. Hayden, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
What's good, Smitty? How's it going?
Good, man. What's up?
Hey, quick question. I know I asked you about that 35 to 38 range, and I guess I didn't ask. I guess I forgot to ask. Say, what do you think about D. Monty, Elijah Mitchell, and James Conner in that range? Because I'm not really high on them, but like, let's say Breece Hall and Travis Etienne are gone in that range. I don't know who to go with.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's, Conner's safer. Touchdown production should be there. As long as he's healthy, he's going to be the guy. Mitchell has a little bit of that Shanahan rotational risk. Their ADPs are far apart. Smitty is going to give Cam a moonshot. That will never happen, Aaron. Never. Here, this is what I have for you. Cam Akers. Here you go, Aaron.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
There you go. That's for Cam. I would go Conner, but I really like Mitchell. Mitchell might be crafty. He might be even more. Like, if I was to wait, like, if I could take a Herbert instead, like, you're going to go Conner, and you're like, well, I could get Mitchell, and then that way it allows me in the fourth round to get Herbert. I would do that kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Or, like, even Kittle at the end of round 4. I kind of like Kittle right now. I think Kittle's a pretty good pick. I think especially if you get him at, like, the top of 5 or the very end of 4, I don't mind that. So, like, if I'm in that position where I got to go Conner in the 3rd round, I'm not loving Conner in the 3rd round. It doesn't mean I don't like Conner. Doesn't mean I don't think Conner could do well. But give me Mitchell. Hayden dropped, but Hayden, you can still listen to the answer. Give me Mitchell at 5.10 over Conner at 3.9 or 4.2 or whatever. 4.5. Like, Conner goes in the 3rd or 4th round. Sometimes in the 3rd round. But as for Cam Akers, we have zero examples. So anybody that wants to come out and say Cam Akers is going to eat, Cam Akers is going to be fine, and Ron, to address what you said, that you heard that he's ready to go, what does ready to go mean? That he's 100%? He's not 100%. He's not 100%. What's up, man? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Is this Hayden?
Yeah. You hang up on me?
Hayden, all I was saying was Mitchell and like at 5.10, and then Burrow or Herbert in the 4th round, or DK in the 4th round, and then Mitchell in the 5.5 or 5.10 range is better than going Conner like at the end of the 3rd or even the top of 4 if you're or you could go Conner and Burrow. I'm fine with that. Go Conner in round 4, go Burrow later. Like, I could argue it 100 different ways, but I'm just saying that I like Mitchell's 80. He's a little bit later. So like if I had to factor that in, I'd say I like Mitchell a tiny bit more because of the ADP. But both of them are 1,200 yard capable. Both of them are 10 TD capable. Mitchell has a little more risk of rotation. Connor's got a little more injury risk, although Mitchell did get banged up last year, so you could argue that too. But they're very close. I think because Conner goes higher, I don't like him as much. But it doesn't mean I don't like him.
What about you don't like D. Monty? David Montgomery?
I do. I think in the 4th round. I don't like him in the 3rd round.
I feel you. Okay, that was my main question, so I appreciate you.
All right, Hayden.
I want to get ETN.
Who doesn't?
They're the.
Who doesn't want
Yeah.
ETN, bro? You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you, Smitty.
Appreciate you. Call in anytime. But Akers is not going to, like, there's a big difference, Ron, between, and I think I even saw this comment in here somewhere, and it's exactly what I was thinking and I was about to say before the call comes. There's a big difference between being ready to go out there and fail, being ready to go out there and give it your 70%. He's ready. He's ready to do it. He's ready to do it as best that he can. But Ron, being ready to go, he's fully ready, doesn't mean he's 100% back to form. Doesn't mean he'll ever have explosiveness again. Doesn't that when you tear your Achilles tendon, and here's the thing that gets me, is a lot of people think that because you tear your Achilles tendon and he's come back a little bit, that he's entering his second year after his torn Achilles tendon. He's going to be entering his first year back from his torn Achilles tendon. He will have no explosion. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Yeah, this is Sly.
Fly?
Sly.
Sly. What's up, Sly?
Nothing much. I wanted to know what you think. What do you think the timeshare will be between Breece Hall and Michael Carter?
I think in the beginning it will be like here's what I'm hearing, and I'm hearing it from people I very much trust and connected to the Jets community. And like I said, I have a whole bunch of different like connections. Some are stronger than others, admittedly. You know, like my connection to the Niners is a lot stronger than some of my connections to other teams. You know, but I have a long list of people that I talk to all the time from all over. As you do stuff like I do for as many years as I had, you get to know a lot of people. And every sense I get, bro, everybody that talks about this, a little bit of behind the scenes, you know, in the industry, like from the reporting, the news side of it, is that it's very well understood that Breece Hall is the number one. The question is, do you think that Breece Hall will surrender some of the PPR work early on to Carter, and will that extend into like week 10, week 12, week 15, you know what I mean? If Breece Hall is the first and second down guy only, then of course he's going to have some limitations on his stats, but here's why I'm not concerned. Even if it's a 70% first and second down go to Breece Hall, or even 80%, and then Michael Carter gets more than 50% of the third down work, he's a rookie. We don't want Breece Hall, especially with the extra game, to be fed like Najee was. Najee was overfed, and like he hit a rookie wall for sure, but it wasn't that long, and he escaped injury, which was amazing. And it does put a little concern on Najee getting hurt this year. There's a little bit of a risk for it because he was overfed to a crazy degree, and you don't want that. You want your rookie running back to come out and get to increase, you know, not gradually, but like you want him to you don't want him to start off getting everything. You don't. That's not how you want a rookie running back season to start out. You want him to get kind of unleashed at a good pace that works for them. And by week 5 or 6, it's like, this thing's is off to the races, bro. So like, would it shock me if you computed it as some total 70-30 or 65% Breece Hall out of the gate total? That's fine. 65 of Breece Hall will be fine in week 1, 2, 3. And then once he gets into 4, 5, you're going to start seeing him be the 70% guy. And 70%, 75% of any team at the running back position is a lot of work. So don't think he's got to be 100%. You know, that's not what you need. So 60 to 65% to start is what I would guess. Which is fine.
65.
Which is fine. That's plenty for a rookie to kick off week 1 with, man. But the consensus is very much that everyone knows he's the one. And the talent levels there, they thought he was a first rounder, is what I keep hearing over and over and over, that this is a first round grade for them. They felt lucky they landed him. You don't go after a guy like that and want him to be behind Michael Carter. Michael Carter's good. He's a great backup. He's a great cuff in fantasy. He's a great third down back. He's a great guy to have on the field. I'm not saying to bench him. I'm not saying not to use him. But give me Breece Hall all day long.
Is he a second round draft pick, you think?
No, not yet. I mean, even if he was, you'd be dropping the ball and punting your season by not taking advantage of trying to get him as late as humanly possible, bro. Like, you take him in the second round, you're literally just you're like that excited person that just, hey, me, let me do it. You know, like, have patience, have restraint. You know, his ADP's in the fourth round and a lot of drafts. So mid-third round, you should be safe. You should be able to get him mid-third round, and that's reaching. That's considered reaching to a lot of people. You know, you might get him in the fourth round if you're patient. Do a couple mock drafts. If you're patient, you'll get him around 4 like clockwork. It's crazy. You know, and I think he's climbing. And if he signs his contract, this is the problem with contract signings, bro. When Breece Hall signs his contract, guess what? People will talk about him. Guess what? When people talk about him, they dig stuff up. Guess what? When people talk about him, a report that you may not have heard or someone else may not have heard that has already been known comes out about him, and people are like, oh, the Jets love him. You know, this report's come out. The Jets really think highly of him. That's already known. But when it comes back out because somebody's going to talk about it, people that haven't heard it, that have been dormant, hibernating, in comas for the last couple months are going to hear it for the first time. Naturally, signing a contract is going to make his value go up a little bit. Wouldn't shock me if at September 1, when people are drafting in the final 2 weeks, you know, final 14 days, 13 days, whatever it is, I wouldn't be surprised if he was borderline round 2 then. Like, people taking him at 22, 23, 24, 25.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, man. That's about all I wanted to know. I was just kind of curious on that.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Sly. Call in anytime, pal.
Appreciate it.
Later. Okay, so let me hammer this home real quick on this Cam Akers stuff. I think I'm going to do the no Cam Akers 10,000 time video. I think I'm going to do it. Hopefully you guys hang with me during that. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be a couple hours long going, no Cam, no Cam, no Cam, no Pam. Here's, I beat this like a dead horse. Zero examples of a player tearing their Achilles and turning into a top 15. Let's stop talking top 10. Top 15. Zero examples of somebody tearing their Achilles tendon at the running back position and turning into a top 10 running back. Zero. Until you see it, why are you going to believe it? There's something about the injury that a lot of people don't understand. When you tear your Achilles tendon, you have no explosion. Everybody reach back very gently. If you're driving, don't do it. If you're sitting in a chair, reach back and feel right above your heel, below your calf. You feel, it feels like a cord. It literally feels as thick as this right here, going down the back of your calf, down into your heel. It feels like a cord. Move your leg left to right just a little bit. Just wiggle, turn your ankle, roll your ankle just a little bit. As sitting in a comfortable chair, you'll feel it go back and forth. That cord. Imagine tearing that. This is the prison injury where they take the blade and they slice the back of your Achilles so you can never walk properly again in the prison yard. So you're limping around and you're a target. This is the prison injury. They literally do this to make it so you never walk right again. Now, granted, he's got great surgery. Smitty, not even Arian Foster. Raul, let me ask you a question. What happened? Like, what happened to Arian Foster? He tore his Achilles tendon. He was out of the league, bro. Raul, what happened? Go look it up. Tore his Achilles tendon. Arian Foster never returned to football. Maybe he came back for like a game or two. He never returned to football, bro. Arian Foster tore his Achilles, never returned. So you're proving my point exactly, Raul. You have two question marks, and you haven't even looked it up yet. Whether, and I appreciate you, Raul. You're adding to my point, so I'm not mad at you. But Raul, you literally put 3 question marks, and you haven't even looked. Arian Foster tore his Achilles tendon, and they never played again. Or he played a game or two, or maybe he played a practice. Never played again, bro. If he came back, he never... Look at his yardage. When he came back, what was it, like 200 yards? If he played 200-300 yards on the season? Like 3 question marks, Raul? 3 question marks? I appreciate you, Raul. Brofist. 0 examples. 0 examples, people. Don't risk your season. Yeah, man. if Foster didn't do it, nobody can. Okay, look, Raul was a good sport. Raul came from the I've got thick skin college that the Bruce teaches, I think. I love Raul. Raul Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
There is no benefit to drafting Cam Akers in the 3rd or even the 4th round. You do it, you're throwing your season away. If I'm wrong, it will be a marvel. It'll be the first time it's ever happened. It'll be the first time that any player's ever returned to form. And if it's going to happen, don't you think it'll probably be a year down the road? D'Onta Foreman was like 4 years before he could get back on the field. Rock out, call one more time. I missed it. It was like 4 years before D'Onta Foreman got back on the field to actually play games and was physical. And Cam Akers was the worst running back in the NFL efficiency-wise upon his return during that time frame. It was like barely 2 yards per carry. He had no explosion. And when you hear that he's coming back, he's ready. Is he ready to come out and show he has no explosion? Probably. Did he play recklessly on his body? He's one of, if not the most injury-prone player, a running back in the entire National Football League. Cam Akers, hear what I'm saying. The most injury-prone running back in the NFL. I tagged him as the most injury-prone running back for 2021. He tore his Achilles tendon. Smitty, are you saying you predicted the torn Achilles? No. But I think if he was my number 1 avoid, Barkley, number 2, Derrick Henry might have been 2, Barkley 3. My 3 avoids all struggled. Cam Akers was out for the year. He's the most injury-prone player in football. He's also the most reckless with his body. He's also the most reckless running back in the entire league with his body. The way he lowers his head, he did it in college. He literally uses his head every time he hits defenders and linebackers that are bigger and stronger than him. He put a guy on a cart when he came back this past season, coming back 5 months recovered from his torn Achilles, lowered his head, the two collided, the guy was on a cart, he went off the field on a cart. Cam got lucky, Cam didn't injure his spine. Dude lowers his head every single time he runs into a linebacker or a couple players. Most risky injury-prone player in the National Football League. Guy had 3 or more injuries his rookie year that kept him off the field until the very end because he kept getting hurt, he kept getting injured. Stay away from Cam. Yeah, Stormcat says take Darrell Henderson in double-digit rounds. Darrell Henderson is the guy to pick. Go near Cam. You are literally guinea pigging this thing. You're trying to hope that his surgery holds up. You're trying to hope that this injury-prone player won't have other. Do you realize that the likelihood of another leg injury, soft tissue especially, but other injuries, is so high, so much higher than any other player probably in football? His likelihood of a leg injury, another different leg injury, is so high that alone would keep me away from him. Even if I saw the explosion back, which the explosiveness is not back, and it won't be back. It's not going to be back. This is his first year back. You'll have people that literally don't know what they're talking about that will come out and say this is his second year back. This is Cam's second. He already played one. This is his second year. Dude tore his ACL. What? Is it even been 12 months since he tore Achilles? Has it even been 12 months since he tore his Achilles? Has it even been 12 months since he tore his Achilles tendon? We have people literally saying that this is his second year back. His second year playing on it. No, he came back recklessly and stupidly 6 months after recovering from a torn Achilles, which he was not even close to 100%. He went out there and potentially caused further damage. This is like driving your car with no brake pads, only on the rotors for 6 months, and then changing your brake pads and expecting your rotors to be fine. Does anybody realize that him going back 6 months after surgery, trying to play football didn't cause some kind of problem that he's going to endure this year. Some kind of he's going to hold back his ability to ever get the explosion back. No, nobody knows anything. They're totally guessing that he's going to be healthy. And you know what I'm doing? Am I guessing too? Yeah, but I'm using facts. I'm using historical data that says 0 running backs have ever become top 10 running backs. 0. The dude, this is his first year back from a torn Achilles tendon, not his second. It happened 1 year ago. 1 year ago, Cam Akers tore his Achilles. I don't care if he played recklessly in the playoffs. This is his first year back. He's going to struggle majorly. Somebody said he tore his Achilles on this day last year. I don't know if that's true. But if it is, happy, year recovered. I hope you do well, Cam. But I'm not banking on it. That's for sure. That's 100% sure.
Hey, Smitty's over. Hey, what's up? I'm trying to come up with what you're thinking on your top 10 running backs, top 12, anywhere in there. Because to me, I'm kind of looking at JT and Najee and maybe Eckler, McCaffrey. Probably McCaffrey hit Eckler. And then at 5, you're looking at either Derrick Henry or Joe Mixon in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? And Joe Mixon is pretty much a consensus second-round pick every draft, and to me, he feels like a top-5 running back. I mean, I may like Swift and Javonte's upside a little bit more, man, but Mixon's set up for success, man. Finally got some O-lines, got a good team around him. They can't focus on him. It seems like easy money.
Yeah, I mean, in the second round, for sure. Like, do I take him over Swift? No, but if he fell to round 2, which is, I think, where he would be, gold, I'd scoop up Mixon all day. You'll see me adjust based on ADP. And I think I would definitely invest in Mixon if he fell to the right place. For sure. Terry on patrol. What's up, Terry? Terry asked a question. We got Fantasy Dog with a super chat. We got Russian Collusion. Smitty, please stop talking so positive about Breece Hall. He went 3.1 in the draft today ahead of ETN. I wanted to take him in the 4th. I'm sorry, Russian Collusion. We're gonna rise him to the rafters, bro. There's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. But I appreciate you, and let's go, Breece. Just got here. Love your people, Smitty. Thank you, Fantasy Dog. And I do appreciate every single person in here. Whether I'm screaming and yelling, I'm not mad at anybody. I love everybody in here. You guys are my people. Mixon ain't flashy, but he's in line. I like him in the second round. He might fall to 13 or 14 sometimes. I don't mind him at the turn, but I will take every single time. I will take Javonte and Swift over him, but that doesn't mean I don't like him. It doesn't mean I don't like him. It just means I like Swift and Javonte a little better, which is fine. That's why we play the game. Imagine not drinking the Kool-Aid every single time. I'm not sure what that's referencing, Swaggy. I don't know what you mean by that. Smitty putting in some overtime tonight. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you. Lendell White retired. Aaron Brown. Yeah, I mean, all the Achilles, like, look, nobody has recovered from a torn Achilles. Nobody at the running back position. Basketball players, sure. Different position, different abuse on your body, unexpected explosion needed to go left and right. It's like the best example I have is you're riding in a car and you're holding the Shiat handle, right? If you're driving your car, let's say a wide receiver is running their route, you got your hands on the steering wheel, you don't get car sick. You know you're absorbing all the bumps, you know exactly where to position your body and cushion the bumps and bruises, right? When you're driving blindfolded in the passenger seat, you're all over the place on a bumpy road, whereas the driver is like staying stationary. Think of running back in that sense. Like when you're a running back and you've got this torn Achilles, which helps you with explosion, and you lose a little itty bitty step, and boom, you're done as a running back. You can't hit the hole as quick. You're done. You're over. And if he's held back at all, he's not going to be able to hit the hole. He's not going to keep the starting job if he's a step slower, which he 100% will be. It's not his fault. He's not even 1 year recovered from his torn Achilles. If he is, it's today, apparently, is his anniversary. But you literally can't expect him 1 year recovered from his Achilles, 12 months out from his Achilles, expect him to be able to have the same quick step. That's why running backs fizzle out. It takes you 2-3 years to get back to your form. There is zero chance in my mind, absolutely zero chance he is the same player that he was before he tore his Achilles. Could he be 3 years from now? Maybe. He did it young enough? Maybe. But will he have a job opportunity then? Probably not. And that's why running backs don't recover from torn Achilles tendons ever. 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 You have no argument with me. If you say Cam's going to be a monster, it's gut instinct, and I appreciate it and I respect it. But you have no tangible argument whatsoever. None. Nobody does. There's no evidence whatsoever. You're playing all defense. You're playing all defense. I'm playing offense. You're playing defense. You have zero argument that has any tangible value that suggests that Cam Akers will return to a top 10 or 15 running back status. You have not one single bit of evidence or anything going for you. Nothing. Not a single ounce. Zero. I have more than enough facts to back up my stance that you could be this could be the first time that it ever happens. Are you really going to gamble on that with a 3rd or 4th round pick? I don't think so. Yeah. By 2026, he could be a monster, says Hazelnut. We got a lot of voicemails. I don't know if I can get to all these.
Hey, Smitty, I know you're not feeling CMC this year.
Okay, got that one. This is Terry.
Smitty, first of all, I'd like to welcome Speedy Chest to the show. My homeboy Juan for 30 years. Welcome, Juan, and welcome to the Discord as well. Smitty, I got a format question. What's the difference between a super flex and a 2-quarterback league?
Yeah, 2 quarterback leagues are where you have to start 2 quarterbacks. You have to. Super flex is where you have that super flex. You could go running back, you could go wide receiver. Sometimes you can go tight end depending on the setup. But you don't have. It makes it a lot less risky to go later quarterback on your second of the 2 quarterbacks. If it's mandatory 2 quarterbacks, you get screwed and you lose the league if you don't have 2 really good quarterbacks. Super flex, you can get away with starting a running back in that flex. It's a little less advantageous, but it's a lot easier. Terry, thank you for letting me know about Speedy Chest. Can you DM him and let him know that right now he can go in there? Actually, I don't see him, bro. I don't see him yet. Let me see. I don't see him in the Discord yet. But I would go Superflex over mandatory 2 QB. I don't like mandatory 2 QB. I like Superflex. Superflex is okay. I'd rather have 1 QB, but if I had to. James Robinson, same boat as Akers. I mean, yeah. Like, James Robinson is even a lesser odds of, I think, ever reclaiming the status he had. But they're both in the same boat. Like, some people say that they're worried about ETN because of the comments, the beautiful news that posted that lowered ETN's value. That I absolutely thank you for your service. I Smitty approve anybody that puts out nonsense reporting that helps lower the value of players. I love it. And this nonsense report came out and said, and actually, you know what? In defense of the report, they did say that he wouldn't be ready for camp, and people just read it wrong more than anything. But it said that he's a 3-down back, and maybe that was a loaded question to the coaching staff, or I forget. There was a couple different reports, and a couple different times the coaching staff has addressed him. But it was like something to the degree, and I don't remember everything off the top of my head. It was something to the degree of is he a 3-down back? And they're like, yeah, James Robinson's a 3-down back, just like Ron Navy. Where's Ron Navy, by the way? Ron Navy asked the question, and I haven't seen him in the chat ever since. Ron Navy's question was his comment was a really good one. Like here he is talking to somebody that he's saying, and I trust Ron, that has good connection to the situation, saying that Cam's ready to go. Cam being ready to go isn't the same thing as Cam being 100%. Cam being ready to go to try it out, I believe that's probably true. He's had a lot of time. He's had a year. He actually played a little bit. I think it was reckless. I think it was stupid. I think it could have created setbacks that we haven't seen yet. It could have created problems that might reveal itself later. But it was good to hear because guess what? Cam's ready to go. People are going to overdraft him. Cam won't have the explosion. James Robinson won't have the explosion. Cam Akers is super injury prone. Super injury prone. And he's coming back from a torn Achilles. You put it together. How on earth is he going to stay healthy when he's already one of the more injury-prone running backs in the entire National Football League? And now he's got to deal with a torn Achilles tendon recovery, which he's in the middle of. He's not 100% over. It takes over a year to get back to form. You got to play on it for a year. His explosion will be gone. And now he's an injury-prone player, reckless with his body. And if you don't think he's reckless with his body with what I described, lowering his head in college over and over, in the pros, lowering his head, just putting his neck and spine in jeopardy over and over and over, if you don't think that's reckless, that doesn't prove it. What about the fact that this dude walked onto the field after 6 months being recovered? The dude tried to get on the field after 5 months, and they said no. He tried to play after 5 months. They waited another month, and they cleared him recklessly. Or Smitty, if the coaching staff approved it and the medical team approved it, are you out of your mind? You know the NFL and how they operate. They put him on the field too early, and it was reckless, and it was stupid, and it was dumb by the organization to put Cam Akers' future at risk because the kid is young and excited and wants to be on the field for the Super Bowl win. He wanted to be a part of the Super Bowl win. I don't blame him. He's a young kid that wanted to be out there, and he didn't know what was good for him, and the team doesn't stop him from going onto the field. He ran for about 1.9 to 2.0 yards per carry, had no explosion, and the team needed him back for that. They didn't look out for his future. The damage he probably did by going back onto the field, it might be revealed later, and we'll never know what truly is going to account for him not to be back to form. Ron, there's Ron. Where you been, Ron? You've been quiet. Ron, call back in. Fumbled several times. I mean, he's worried about the foot. Fumbled the football. There's the upside's not there. Like, if you're talking about 5th or 6th round, I maybe understand. But you're talking about this guy going. God, we're way over. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes into this show. It's a good show. 2 hours, and we got 112 people still in here. Punch the thumb up button. Ron, dial in. How do we trade Akers in Dynasty? Doubted players, bro. Across position. You could find vulnerability in people that own DK. You could find vulnerability in people that own McLaurin, although the new contract made people excited about him. Waddle, people worry about Tyreek Hill. Across positions, great, because people that need running backs will take bigger risks than a player that's like, hey, I already got a running back. I don't want to take a risk. You know, go after Breece Hall, go after Kenneth Walker, go after those guys. Silver's trying to keep me longer. Look at Silver. Silver. Some people love Akers. They do, bro. Hoovie, some people you just can't. And some of it is their dynasty owners. Do you blame them? Like, do you blame a dynasty owner for being like, you know, he's going to be fine. Stop talking bad about my guy. I mean, Fournette. How many times did we have people mad at me about Fournette? Ron, how do you feel about Fournette at this point? Like, you know, I know Brian was pretty hard on me for my negativity toward Fournette, but we're at the point now where don't you feel like everything I've been saying is just getting confirmed? You know, by more and more reports. Like, when I say Fournette is a constant disappointment, and I'm saying that for a while now, and that to stay away from him, and that he's a ridiculous second-round pick. And then these reports are coming out, ironically, after I push that narrative. Like, what are you thinking about Fournette?
Well, I think he's more of like a 4th or 5th round.
Yeah.
If anything, but I like the running backs. There's running backs I like better than him. And I think you're right as far as White is going to have an opportunity
to show what he's got. And, I mean, it's to be seen whether, how much advantage he takes of that opportunity when he gets it. But, I mean, we just don't know until they play the game. But, yeah, Fournette is like, okay, if you're a motivated player and you care about your team, you don't come in, like, out of shape. You don't come in, like, you do what you got to do. It's like the report that they had, Olave, right, is a rookie receiver. They just reported on him. All the players for New Orleans, all the veterans, they love giving to the community in New Orleans. What's Olave do? He meets with the city officials and says, "Hey, what can I do to help out the area more?
You got to like
what
that.
Can I do?"
What did Fournette do?
That speaks.
And what did Fournette do? They said
it speaks to his character for it.
In Jacksonville Jaguars.
He goes and eats a bunch of freaking. Yeah, he goes out and eats a bunch of freaking food and doesn't care. He signs this big contract. Oh, I get my money no matter what type of attitude, and I'm going to come in out of shape and I'm not. I don't have trust in a player.
And then
like that.
in Jacksonville,
he
was a big disappointment in Jacksonville. And then they said you get one more chance. Like, you're gone, even though he had a great season. You're gone if you do anything else. And what does he do? And granted, it was a small thing if you look at just the situation, right? But he goes out and gets arrested and cuffed by going. I think he was going like 110 miles an hour or something. Which you could say that's nothing, but that could also kill somebody. So it's like he doesn't learn. Right. He's a disappointment, and then he goes out and, like you said, you got a responsibility to your team. You're going to come in at 260, and as you get older, dropping those LBs, it's not as easy, and it's hard on your body, and you're going to put yourself in a position where you're a little more vulnerable to get hurt when you're trying to cut that weight quickly in an unhealthy fashion at a very rapid pace. He's going to put himself where his muscles are weak. Like, there's a reason why doctors say that it's not healthy to cut weight that quickly, is it puts your body in a position of where it's lacking in a lot of ways in strength, and it puts it in a vulnerable position. So if your muscles are vulnerable because they're literally like, you're collapsing your body in an unnatural pace, trying to condense it down, and your body's going to be in a vulnerable position to get hurt. So Leonard Fournette's likelihood of going up, injury likelihood of going has gone up tremendously from coming in at 260. His likelihood of getting hurt went up, I think, to an extreme degree because of the position he's going to put his body in to cut that weight quickly, which I believe he's trying to do very, very quickly. And he looks a little bit more trimmed. I'd say he lost about 10 of those pounds at least, but he's still struggling on the treadmill. The reports that I put up earlier saying that the coaching staff's very, very frustrated with him. He's always frustrating the coaching staff. Always. Wherever he's at, he's frustrating it. He's disappointing. They're saying he's not where he needs to be on routes. He impromptus his routes, and he ends up in a different place. And Tom Brady's like, bro, I'm throwing to a spot. I'm not throwing to you, Lenny. It's not your job to go find an open plateau of field. I'm going to tell you where to go, and he doesn't do it. This guy Rashad White, he does. Rashad White is the best receiving back in the draft class, and Tom Brady wanted him. And Tom Brady's going to get what he wants. And you watch. The moment Leonard Fournette trips up, the moment Leonard Fournette drops a pass, if Rashad White doesn't even take it from him in practice, the receiving job, this guy's going to be on the field on third downs, and then it's up to Rashad White. Rashad White is the best kept secret in terms of these rookie running backs in fantasy football and in the NFL right now. Him and Tyler Algier, they could be surprises, bro.
Oh yeah, well, the thing too is like, who wants? I don't have any shares of Fournette, and I mean, for the record, I have 0 shares of Cam Akers. Also, I haven't taken him in any best ball drafts, but look at a Hall of Fame player. Look at Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice. Always working out, always pushing himself, making sure that he always shows up to camp, helping his teammates out. I mean, setting them on workout programs, helping them out. I mean, that's the type of player I want, is a player like a Jerry Rice that has that mentality, that puts team first and is willing to make the sacrifices for the team's benefit, not come in like he come in like that. That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you depend on somebody like that? You can't depend on somebody like that.
Yeah. Hey, and bro, I also said earlier to your comment that you had earlier, which is good. I was me shooting it down isn't shooting down that you had the information, but I was just saying that, like, and I'm not sure if you heard that being ready to go doesn't mean he's 100%. Doesn't mean he's, you know what I mean? Like, he's ready to go try this out, and you'll never know. You don't know what game speed is. He's probably been held out of all kinds of stuff just to keep him a little bit less vulnerable to re-injury or another injury. So Cam doesn't even know where he's at. You know, like, you can't, like, even JK, it was hilarious that JK Dobbins clapped back, and I don't blame him. I'm actually proud of him for clapping back at Ian Rappaport, but JK doesn't know where he's at. He doesn't. You don't know where you're at until you get out onto the field with those injuries and you get hit with helmets in the knee and all that. So, but you want to be optimistic, and the last thing JK wants is negativity surrounding him. So I get it. I know why he clapped back, and again, I appreciate it. I would stay off social media if I were a player. I wouldn't want to absorb all that. I mean, that's some of the players' fault for diving into that world. You know, like, they should be more focused and not reading everything about them if they can't handle it. You know what I mean? Like. I just think these players need to focus, you know, especially JK. Out of all players, JK, Cam, these guys shouldn't be, and Cam hasn't proven that he's watching the news on him, but JK is, Debo is. Like, these guys should be focused on what's at hand, you know, not worrying about what other people are saying about him.
Yep. And you know what? Here's the thing, and we all discussing all these players with all their potential and everything. And really, all you can do is look what they did in college, look at the past, buddy, and make up what you think. You're going to hit and miss on players. I mean, there's going to be players that you think were great, and they just they don't work out. I mean, you're going to have players that you draft on your team that are going to get injured, and they're going to be out for most of the year. So, I mean, you know, you can try to prepare for every scenario that you can, but you can't prepare that much. All you can do is draft the best team, best players available on your team, and try to have some good, solid backups in case of injury, and be good with it. You know, that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
And hope the players that you're betting on, especially the rookies, work out.
Avatar wants to bet me that DK gets outscored by Pittman. I don't think that's that crazy of a bet, though, bro, because, I mean, they're both, like, Pittman should be going in the same round. Pittman's going oftentimes a round ahead. Sometimes Pittman goes in the third round, and that's where I beat the dead horse of you're taking Pittman too early. He can't be your third drafted player. He should be, at most, your fourth drafted player. But, like, Pittman and DK, I mean, DK's situation wouldn't shock me if they're about the same. So that's not something I think is crazy. That's assuming that Pittman's a fourth rounder. So that would be okay with me. I don't like him in the third round. So, Avatar, that's not one that I really feel like, you know, is that crazy at all. But people need to back up off Pittman in the third round. Like, look at your team and what you have at the end of your mock draft. If Pittman's your third round pick, your team's going to look really light. It's going to look like someone went in and physically removed your second round or your second or third round pick. And you're going to be like, what'd you do? Trade it away? Like, you're going to have a very, very thin roster if you go too early on Pittman. Pittman's a better, just like DK. You don't want to take DK too early either if you don't have to. So I don't mind that. I think Pittman could have the same stats as DK. That wouldn't shock me.
Pittman's got a better quarterback. Pittman's got a better quarterback, and I think Ryan's going to have a pretty decent year this year. He might be, you know, top 15.
Hey, Brian. Did Brian and I have a bet on Breece Hall versus Fournette or something? Brian, what was our bet? Someone had a bet about that. I thought it was Brian. I need to put that on the board. See, I already forgot. I need to put it on the board so it's there, and that way it doesn't get lost. Matt Ryan gets a real offensive line, says Prime. Yeah, I mean, Pittman could be fine. Just don't take him in the third. That's my advice.
See how Alec Pierce does in that offense, too.
I like Pierce.
Being the rookie, and that could open up Pittman.
Yeah, that could be a good thing for Pittman. It doesn't need to be a bad thing, but I think Pierce is like my favorite end of the draft wide receiver. Like, you know what I mean? Avatar, appreciate your super chat, buddy. Okay, anything else, Ron, before I let you go? Appreciate you calling back. Anything else?
Nope, I don't have anything else. I'm sure everybody's tired of listening to me.
No, Ron, like,
catch you later.
Ron, they kind of like some people will joke around because that's the ongoing joke is that Ron is a long call. but I think you've joked around about it, saying Ron, you talk. But then when you leave, people are like, I like Ron. Let's get him back. So it's like I can't please anybody, Ron. They want you on and off. Like everybody, they want more Ron.
Yeah,
it's like more cowbell.
I want me off quick too because I talk too much sometimes.
No,
I know that.
We love you, Ron.
But I love our community. I love our community, and I love the people in the community, with the exception of the people like Ben earlier. He was just like pissing me off.
Yeah,
I'm glad you blocked him.
Yeah, anytime somebody's going to disrupt, they're going to eventually be gone. It's not about having thick skin or it's like having somebody in the chat that's trying to just irritate everybody. You're not going to last long. Like, you're not going to last long. Like, we don't want that. We don't want that. I don't care. I don't need your view. You know, if you're going to come in here and just be a total, like, let me just see how I can piss everybody off today. That's not going to fly. Ron, we need to, D-Town says you donate so much to the show, you get to take your time. So you have negotiated that into your giving does not go unnoticed, Ron, first of all. Second of all, and you probably should have your own button.
Ramble. I know I told you this, on IG. I said, I ramble on sometimes, and I know that. And I try to get off quick if I need, because I know other people are trying to get in and talk to you and ask their questions. So I don't like to take up a whole bunch of time, but I can ramble. I know
Ron,
that, so
Ron, you're going.
Anyway, let me let you go.
Yeah, you're going to the moon. You may go the long way around the Earth and then to the moon, but you still get there, bro. Ron took the long way.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you.
We love you, Ron. Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye.
Oh, Ron. Okay, we're out of here. Appreciate everybody. This is a good long show. We've been here for 2 hours and 36 minutes. That's a long show. Appreciate everybody. We got a little heated in here. But it was good. It was good. It gets heated when you start talking about players not doing well. People get upset. They've got shares of that player. They don't like it. But for the most part, everybody was respectful about it. And, I know I'm screaming and yelling sometimes. It's the nature of what I do and how I say it and how I come across my points. And I apologize. I love everybody in here. Catch me tomorrow. We're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. And if news breaks, I go live immediately, just an additional time. So if something happens tomorrow, breaking news, your boy Smitty goes live. It's that simple. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Get your one-on-one text advice with me. On-demand text service, thefantasyfootballshow.com. And don't forget to play Underdog Fantasy. Link is in the description. Use promo code Smitty. You see it on screen here. Play DFS and get all these players we're talking about over and over and over at steal values while they last. Go to Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code Smitty. Link is in the description. Appreciate every single one of you. Later. See you tomorrow. Or tonight. Actually, you know what? We're going live tonight to mock draft. What am I talking about? We'll be live, most likely live to mock draft, or I'll hit the streets of Tempe or Phoenix and do a Q&A. Either way, we're going live later. What am I talking about? See you later tonight.
Breece. Get 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 Breece.
To the moon.
I was trying to hit the button. I couldn't stop it. Silver wants one more. One more minute. Hold on. I was trying. It was stuck, and he just kept going and kept going, and I'm like, oh my god. So we got one more minute here. Let's see.
Show extended additional 2 minutes.
Get Breece. Get Breece. Get Breece. Thank you for extending the super chat, broski. Silver with the save. I got all these extra questions on here from the other time. Let me get rid of these. Silver with the save. There we go. $2 holler. Appreciate you. Silver extension. They call him the extender for a reason. Keeper league. I have JT. I'm pick 9 in the second round. Who should I grab? If Javante's there, you go Javante. But I really need to know like who's on the board. Is Debo there? You know, is Kelsey there? Like, I don't know, bro. You'll have to give me some names. Totally depends on who's available, bro. But, you know, that can be a tough spot.
Show ends in 1 minute.
You know, if Javante falls, it's a smash, bro. JT, Javante, that's a two-headed monster. I did a video on trading into the two-headed monster when JT was a top 5, or when Javante was a top 5 pick. Actually getting it for free now without making any sort of trade. Home run. Home run. I feel like tacos. I'll be on IG doing tacos tonight. Looks like I'll be going on Instagram here in a second, guys. I'll go live on Instagram once this timer goes. So if you guys want to jump over to IG, The Fantasy Football Show on IG, The Fantasy Football Show, I'll be talking with my boys. They're requesting that I come in right now. Ron Navy, you're my man, the man, bro, says Terry.
Show ends in 10 seconds.
Appreciate everybody going on IG right now. I'll see you over there. Is today Tuesday? Taco Tuesday. Appreciate you all, guys. Later.
Get Breece. Get Breece. Get Breece.